365, we making the plays. You talking the game, get you to the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, they working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.
And welcome all to Real Talk, postseason edition. We got the NFL in their postseason. I'm sorry, the off season. Excuse me. NFL off season. We got the NBA off season. But we had quite a finals. It was the outcome that I always desired, even if I did not pick it. But Steph gets his MVP. The Celtics lose again. I'm sure our Lakers fans are also thrilled at that aspect of it. But it was also Father's Day weekend, so I do want to take some time out for that. Say shout out to all the fathers. Happy Father's Day. You guys got any children?
Nah. No biological, but bonus and godchildren.
Okay. Cool. Well, hopefully, if you guys are able to either take your dads out or somebody, did something for you. But shout out to all the dads. Definitely need
Happy Juneteenth also.
Mm-hmm. Happy Juneteenth as well. It's a busy day. Black dads got a double whammy, I guess. How that worked out. But yeah, how y'all feeling? What's going on with y'all?
Good, man. Enjoyed the long weekend and was able to relax and rest, and so just ready for the new week and always ready to come on with my guys and talk some sports. So I'm good.
Cool. What's going on with you, Chris?
Can't complain. Just started my new job at Amazon, so that's always good, getting to the money. But I'm ready to talk sports. I've been looking all day to talk sports, to come on here with you guys and chop it up. So I'm excited. So I got some things to say.
Uh-oh.
I hope so. Unfortunately, Devin couldn't be on with us. Hopefully he's watching. But he said Warriors in 6.
He did. I give him credit.
And even when I tried to get him to come off his stance, he did not
true.
waver. He was resolute. And I think after game 1 and game 3, I don't think anybody saw Golden State winning 3 games in a row. But they did. And we're definitely going to get into it. But let's just start high level, and then we'll drill down. Chris, just give us a couple takeaways from the finals, whatever it means to you for the future, just your thoughts on everything.
First and foremost, this finals means nothing to me. I want to see my team get there. We're not going to talk about that, though. We're not going to talk about the GOAT AI. Okay, but here's the real thing. My GOAT, my favorite player of all time. But let's break this down. The Warriors were the better team. They were the most disciplined team. I thought the Celtics had more talent, but when you're going into the finals, you got to take everything into consideration. You look at the coach, you look at the players that's been there before. I think that really, showed his face in a couple of these games where, me personally, I picked the Celtics to win in 6 or 7, and there was multiple times throughout multiple games the Celtics were up. You would think they were going to take advantage of opportunities, but the Warriors' experience at the end of the day is what helped lead them to the championship. Shout out to all those players. Shout out to Andre Iguodala, Sixers legend. Shout out to Andrew Wiggins. I got a lot to say about Andrew Wiggins, so I'm going to put my brakes on that because, when they made that trade, I said this is the best move they could have did, bringing a guy that's going to buy in on defense, because I saw how Kevin Durant became a defender with Golden State. And Andrew Wiggins was already a 10 times better defender than when he was with Minnesota. So now you're bringing him on the team that's going to teach him the discipline, teach him the right things to do to be a great defender, not a good defender. So, shout out to the Warriors. I knew the Warriors would make it to the championship, but I looked at the Celtics team and I really thought they had a chance. And I'm disappointed from the players, not so much a little bit of coaching staff, but definitely I'm looking at Jason Tatum with a good disappointment. I think he's going to get there, but you're going to have to hold him accountable. I see a lot of things saying, oh, he's young, you shouldn't be so hard on him. I'm just holding him accountable. I treat every player the same. They all get the same treatment. I do think Jason Tatum's a very good player. He's not a superstar in my opinion anymore. However, I do think he might be able to make an NBA final again.
Okay. Off to a good start. Kenny, you picked Boston with me as well. So your takeaways, what do you see coming in the future?
I think one of my, I totally agree with Chris, especially on the point about the experience. I think that's what we saw that was the difference in the series. And I think the other part of it was the Boston's lack of a playmaking point guard. I think that was what really hurt them in terms of this series. And, I had, we'll talk about it later, so I'm not going to get too deep into it. But I just think that those are the two biggest things. I think in terms of the coaching, I think they were pretty head to head. I really didn't see, a big difference in terms of, the coaching moves per se. I thought they were pretty even, but I just think that, again, the experience of the Warriors definitely, ruled the day. And then, also credit to Stephen Curry. I want to make sure I give him his props because, everybody, going into the series, there's a lot of people questioning, his greatness and whether or not he would step up on this stage. And he did, he did that. He closed the door, he shut the lights out, he put them to sleep, he rocked the baby, however you want to call it. But he closed the deal. And so, I want to give him credit. And then the other part, on Jason Tatum, I understand, what Chris, you're saying about holding him accountable. And I agree. It's no question that he had a bad series. But I think some people are jumping out the window a little bit, like calling him Paul George and stuff like that. Like, to me, that's a little bit too much because he's only 24 and everybody's had, you could go down the line. You can go down the line of great players that had bad NBA finals, to the Magic Johnsons, to the
greats.
All the greats had bad moments in the NBA finals. Even, Larry Bird, Michael Jordan had his struggles, so like I just think it's a little carried away. Like don't get me wrong, he had a bad finals. There's no question about it. But like some of it is getting a little carried away, like saying that he's still an elite player. Let's not get it twisted. But
I agree.
100%. He just had a bad finals.
You know what's crazy about that, Ray, real quick? A lot of people, I'm huge on Paul George. Like, I honestly feel like Paul George is one of the most talented players in the league. I think he's more talented than Kawhi. Not better, but talented. He just is not consistent in the playoffs. So I just find that's a funny comparison. I don't think it's a bad comparison, but you're right. People are going too crazy. I'm just saying he folded. I'm not saying he jumped down. Folded, and he's not in the superstar category yet. And I don't think that's a terrible take because when I look at superstars, Ray, the floor is yours. I don't want to go too crazy too early.
All right. So I appreciate both of you gentlemen and your takeaways. You guys both mentioned youth. I keep hearing youth, and I heard experience. So
I think more experience than youth because Marcus Smart's been in the league for a minute. They had some experienced guys like Al Horford, guys like that that's been in the league for a while. So I just think it was more, I don't think it's youth. I think it's more experience.
But the experience is kind of
like experience, finals experience.
More fun, not playoffs. This Celtics team has a ton of playoffs experience.
Right. So was this team up 1-0 in the finals?
They were.
Were they up 2-1 in this finals?
They were. That's the problem.
They couldn't close the deal.
And hold on.
This team has been to too many playoff games. Y'all talked about it. They've been in the playoff games. They have the leadership at the top.
But playoffs and finals are two different things, though, Ray. Let's not get that confused.
I agree with you. And if you would have said they came out and was down 0-2, I agree with you. But we saw what they did in the fourth quarter of game one. That still happened. We saw them go up 2-1. So don't all of a sudden
3 straight.
They lost 3 straight because their best player choked. That's what happened.
I
They needed their best player to carry them the way Steph carried the Warriors in Game 4. And in all 3 of those games, Jason Tatum did not show up in the way that he needed to show up. It's that simple. It's not. We're not going to experience him now. Whether it's the Kobe mentality, whether it's Udoka as the coach, whether it's Brad Stevens up top, I think Danny Ainge is still there. They have a ton of experience in championship.
Ainge is in Utah.
Oh, is he in Utah? Okay. He did. They when they bumped Stevens up, but I don't have any experience excuse there because
I agree.
One of the bigger switches was Otto Porter coming in. Like he doesn't have a ton of finals experience that we saw with Gary Payton. God bless him. I thought he was trying to give the game away at one point because he was just awful on offense. But we saw some of the younger players play. I watched Peyton Pritchard go nuts early. So is it consistency? Yes. I don't think this was an experience thing. I don't think they were unprepared for the moment. Jason Tatum broke a record for turnovers, not because he started turning it over in the finals. He's been doing it all playoffs. The second leader in turnovers is Jaylen Brown, who didn't just start doing that in the finals. They choked. They had an opportunity, and they let Steph do what Steph does. And I think that Game 4, I hope that lives on longer for his legacy, as we'll get into some conversations later on how this impacts him. But the flat out, they blew it. They tried to blow the Miami series. They got away with the Milwaukee series with Middleton being out. This is who this team is. I didn't see anything different. We got an Al Horford game.
Yeah, but but I think choke is a little strong after they went in Game 6 on the road and won an elimination game. Went in Game 7 on the road and won a Game 7 to go to the NBA Finals. So
that's my point. So they had the. It's not an experience.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, yeah.
Did you see how he was shooting in the turnovers? They were missing free throws. They choked.
But I say this, like when I'm looking at Tatum and the turnovers, I don't want to say everything I want to say right now, but I feel like there's a strong reason for them having those turnovers, him and Jaylen Brown. When I look at the shooting, it's the same thing.
Not having a playmaker.
That is huge. That is a big reason why they have all these turnovers because his game style, he's going and I watched him pass up shots.
He's not good enough. So we're going to say that.
No, we're not. No,
he's not good enough to have the ball. If he is he is first team All NBA.
But listen, I took him out of my superstar category for this reason.
Okay, so he can take him out, but he was first team All NBA, one of the 5 best players in the league. And I can't trust you to have the ball in your hands, or you're going to turn it over.
It's not a trust thing. Yeah, it's not a trust thing.
They trust him.
That's why he has the ball.
How you being utilized,
but listen, he's turning the ball over because he's playing a new role.
And he didn't have a choice. Again, it goes back to he didn't have a choice. He had to put the ball in Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum's hands to make plays because those are the only 2 guys on the team that can make a play with the ball in their hands.
I love Marcus Smart, but he's so inconsistent.
You're not giving it to Marcus Smart to make a play.
He's inconsistent when it comes to being a playmaker. Listen, Ray, I'm with you.
So you're making I agree with you.
No excuse. I have no excuses for Jason Tatum. I'm just telling you why those turnovers are there. Listen, he voted. They had multiple times to win this series, and I saw Jason Tatum not perform to the Jason.
Short.
He came up short.
So how's that any different for what I'm saying?
Because choking is I
think choking is what LeBron. I think choking is what LeBron did against the Mavs. I think that's choking.
So what you saw from Jason Tatum in round 1, 2, and 3, and then how he performed in round 4.
They took him to 6 games.
I see no difference though.
6 games and all the games were competitive. How's that a choke?
No, but like you said, Ray, these turnovers were happening every single series. So what's the difference?
When you needed him the most, he turned it over more than ever. Did y'all watch Game 6? Game 6 was awful.
On both sides.
When it was a 16-point lead in the first quarter, I said it's over.
Bring out the champagne. Because Golden State let them get right back in the game. And if it's not for Steph Curry, we go in Game 7.
And that's the point I'm trying to make. You needed Jason Tatum to do that for you.
I agree.
And he never did.
I agree.
I just think we're it's semantics. Like we just think the word choice is just we disagree.
Yeah, I think we're all agreeing. Look,
Yeah, we
and,
just-
and-
Y'all
and-
just
and-
scared to
look.
say choke because y'all like the young man.
No, we're not.
that's
I'm
not
saying
even
no.
it. That's not even.
If
I don't
any
even.
other
I don't know how to
super-
describe it.
If Kevin Durant had that same series, we would have called him a choker.
So
See,
did,
but the thing, I
but
don't even
wait,
use.
so did Kevin Durant choke when they got swept by the Celtics?
Yeah. Kenny, you was on the show when we was talking about what happened. Like they were killing Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant's been removed from the best player in the world conversation.
Whoa,
Not for
who
me.
removed them?
Y'all saying that. It wasn't
Who
me.
removed them?
People
That
with
wasn't me.
people with eyes.
Who
That wasn't
removed
me.
them?
I ain't
Listen, I
never
can't.
seen
I
that.
cannot
ain't
name.
never
I
seen
cannot
that.
get.
Don't
I
put me in
cannot
there.
name 5 players better than
Yeah,
Kevin
don't put
Durant.
me in there. You
I
can
cannot
you stand on
name
that
5
wall
players
by
that I would
yourself,
take over
my
Kevin
friend.
Durant. 5.
So just real quick, Chris, I want to see where you're at with this. So you're taking Durant over Luka right now.
Give me another name.
Absolutely.
Give me another name.
Absolutely. Ooh,
Absolutely.
Steph Curry.
No, you got it. You got stuff.
Okay, that's
Giannis.
2. That's
Giannis.
2. That's debatable in my opinion.
Debatable.
But go ahead.
How?
Debatable.
Jokic.
I'm taking KD.
Yeah,
Back-to-back
I'm gonna take it.
MVPs. You're
Yeah,
taking
all-
Kevin Durant over
All
Jokic.
day
Back-to-back.
I'm taking Kevin Durant.
Yeah, because I thought Embiid should have won the MVP.
Exactly.
I agree. I think you did too. So let's go to Embiid. You taking Durant over
No.
Embiid today?
No,
I'm
not
biased.
taking
You
over
can't ask me that. I'm biased.
So
You
we're
can't
at
ask me
4. We took Jokic out. We're at 4.
that. Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
We all know who's in LA. You're
Okay.
taking KD over
No.
LeBron today.
Oh yeah, taking KD over LeBron. Yes,
I'm not. I'm not.
yes.
So we just got to 5 players. I haven't
Who's
got
the
the
5?
job. I didn't get the job.
I'm taking KD over Ja. What do you
Yeah,
mean?
No question.
No question.
No question.
No question.
Oh my God. All right.
Because-
Y'all really like Kevin Durant. I
It's
respect
not,
it.
not even a fact about like I don't want to go on a Kevin Durant tangent, but you asked me about Giannis. Kevin Durant was about to beat him by himself last
When?
year in the playoffs. Last year when they won a championship and Kevin Durant took them to 7
But
games,
did they?
he
But
didn't.
the
But,
fact of the matter, it shouldn't even go on that far.
but let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Right? They lost because of injury. Are you taking Giannis over Jason Tatum?
Yes.
Did they beat? Did the Bucks beat them in the playoffs this year?
No.
Why?
They lost the 3rd best player.
Okay, so what
But you
happened?
said
What's the difference
Giannis
between the
is
Nets and the
better-
Bucks
but
last
he's
year?
the better player. So why would you? Still,
I saw. Did you see how Giannis performed in that series versus Kevin Durant? Kevin Durant was awful.
But you said you taking him over.
Okay.
You said you if you're taking
Giannis played much
Wait,
better.
No, you're
answer
right.
my
You're
question.
right.
If you're taking Giannis over the same scenario, if you're taking Giannis over Jason Tatum, then why didn't he lead his team over with Game 6 at home? At home, Game 6 at home to close it out, and you couldn't get it done.
Because I believe they lost to a better team. The way they were playing at that time was better.
Okay.
Okay.
But Giannis wasn't the reason they lost.
Okay.
I
I'm not
can
mad
say
at you.
But
I
again,
would
you're
say
supposed
Kevin
to get
Durant
around,
was
just
a
like you
huge-
said. Just like
Kevin
you said
Durant
with
was a
Jason
huge
Tatum.
reason.
This was the moment you're supposed to take. You're supposed
Right.
to take
And
it
if
over.
Giannis would have played like Jason Tatum did in the series versus Boston, I would have I would be saying something different. But you can't be averaging 35, 13, and 8.
Giannis is different. Yeah, all right, let's move. Giannis is different. Like I don't even want to. You got it. I don't even want to talk about him.
All right. My point is, had Kevin Durant played better in that first round, we're talking about him different. Most people, y'all still have. Well, Chris, and we can move on, but we got the 5 players, and you said Durant was a no, but that's cool. He might have been 6th. So we'll go from there to Steph Curry, the Finals MVP, rightfully so. He closed it out in dramatic fashion, and as only he does. We got a new meme.
Rock the baby.
And they talked and they earned it. So we'll start with, obviously, Shannon Sharpe has said this and other people are debating. If he won the Finals MVP with 4 rings, the only unanimous MVP in NBA history, impact on the game, should he be in the top 10? Kenny, you are the historian here. You're a little older than us. So you go back a little further. So we trust your knowledge here. Don't let us down. Is Steph Curry a top 10 player?
I was looking at the list.
So tough.
And it's hard,
It's so
man.
tough.
It's like who do you take out and put him in? Like, I heard Stephen A. talk about Wilt Chamberlain. And although that's before my time, ain't no way I'm taking out a dude that averaged 50 and 20 boards in a season. Like I can't take that guy out, even with 2 championships.
But can I say something? Everybody's list is so different, though.
Yeah, who I may, and this is hard being an old head. I might have to put him over Larry Bird. I might have to put him over Larry Bird, and that's hard to say because you got to remember like how clutch Larry Bird was, and the fact that he is a multiple MVP, he is a multiple champion, he is the rookie, he was the rookie of the year. So like it's not easy. It ain't easy for me. Like you tripping, Ray. I ain't saying that. It ain't easy. To me, it's really close. But on this all-time point guard thing, like he's not no all-time great point guard. I'm sorry. Like you can't be like I looked it up. This man is 56 all-time in assists. And he's been playing in the league for 13 years. Am I right? Is it 13 years?
How many other point guards got more points than him?
But my point is, we're talking about point guard.
I know it's a lot.
That's the only other category. That's the biggest category that you look at in terms of a point guard, and you fit in the 50s.
You ready?
He's been playing in the league 13 something. It's got to be 13 years. I'm almost certain.
But even in those 13, he's played less. I looked it up. He's played less games than Magic at this point.
Okay.
So he's missed early on in his career, but go ahead.
But he's had long playoff runs, so we're not getting that.
So anybody that's a great has a bunch of long playoff runs. That's
right. So that's what I'm saying. That makes it even worse. That he's that low.
I'm the greatest shooter of all time. So you want me to pass? You're knocking me because I don't pass enough. But I'm the best
guard. That's one of the biggest criteria of a point guard. I
think it's changing now, Kenny. We got to look at.
It's not about.
I understand that.
About your ability to get your team to put the ball in the hole.
Understood. Like, okay, if he was in the top 20s, top 30s, you wouldn't have no complaint from me. But 50, 56?
But he wins. Is it better for me to shoot it?
I was about to say that.
We just said we're talking about all. You should ask me, why was he all time and then all time great point guards? I put him up there in terms of all time players, but he's not an all time great point guard for me. I'm sorry.
Wait, define. All right, how are we saying this? Where would he rank in your all time great point guard list? Is he not on the list? I know he's.
Oh no, he's. I'm sure he's on the list, but
he top 5?
I'm not putting him over Magic.
Of course, wait. Never. He's never over Magic. I'm sorry.
I might not even put him on. I might not even put him over Stockton. He ain't got no chips.
So
I'm putting him over Stockton.
Just so I'm clear,
I ain't gonna lie to you. He's over.
So if Steph was a shooting guard,
all time great.
Oh, all time great. I thought you said top 3.
Oh no, all time great. If we're talking shooting guard, all time.
Oh, he would be the third best shooting guard of all time.
I don't want to give my take, but
overweight.
Yes,
Kenny, who are you?
And don't get it twisted. I love Dwayne Wade, but he would be the third best shooting guard of all time. But that was the
one that came off the top of my head. I'm sure there's probably somebody that we.
Number 1 and 2 is Kobe. MJ 3 is D Wade. 4 is AI. 5 is West. He's third. Unless you want to put Harden over West. But
I think for the sake of this, so what you're saying is there will never be another great point guard because that guard that you're talking about doesn't exist.
No.
Magic Johnson.
Russell Westbrook is top 15 all time in assists. So miss me.
And you think he's a great point guard?
Miss me with that. I'm just saying you cannot say
he's great.
You
as a point guard. So all those turnovers and bad shots don't count in the point guard conversation.
He's top 15 all time in assists, so you're not going to say that he's not a great point guard.
Saying that. And that's the thing. You keep going to assists.
Because
point guard is a floor general.
Hold on. Just answer me this question. In terms of point guard, what are the highest? What are the 2 main criteria that you're judging a point guard by? Points and what?
Getting others.
Points and assists.
Yeah, winning. I think the reason the Lakers are called winning time is because it's winning. The goal of the point guard, y'all have been
changing, but we're not changing.
I agree with you on that, Ray.
Y'all have been killing Marcus Smart for his inability to facilitate the offense and get people easy shots to get the ball in the hole, right?
That's why he's not a
the
good.
The end result is to get the ball in the hole. So if I use me to get the ball in the hole because I'm better than my teammates, how are you penalizing him for that?
You're making my point. The fact of the matter is,
you're saying he doesn't have a lot of assists, but he's been the best player, and he shoots better than everybody. Why would I throw the ball to other people who shoot worse than me? That's being a bad point guard.
I mean, AI averaged 8 assists, scoring 30.
Thank you.
And did what did he win?
He didn't have KD, Clay, and Draymond.
Right. And that makes it worse. That makes it worse.
Had to throw that in there. I had to throw that in there. I had to.
On your backcourt next to you, and you in the 50s in point and assists.
I had to throw
but
that
I'm blowing out in other categories. So what?
I
don't even facilitate the
I agree with both of y'all. Ray, I agree with you that I feel like winning is a big part of how I view a point guard.
I got all these assists because I'm John Stockton. I've won absolutely nothing, but I'm a better point guard than the Finals MVP. Just crazy.
But you talking about like John Stockton wasn't a winner. He went to the NBA Finals twice
and lost.
If not for Michael Jordan, he has 2 rings. What are you talking about?
If not for a whole bunch of stuff, a bunch of people got rings. What are you saying?
You're making it sound like he's not a winner just because he didn't win the
I didn't say he wasn't a winner. I said if you're comparing him to a winner,
Again, you're still backhanding. You're backhanding him like he's not a winner.
You're saying he's not a good point guard, but he was the only unanimous MVP in NBA history.
Okay, he don't deserve that title. Though. I'm sorry. Whoa.
So now we just pick retroactively taking back titles that people.
I will because Shaq deserved it in 2000. I'm just putting it out
reflect on your skills as a point guard.
All right. Well, I want Steph Curry as my point guard more than I want John Stockton. Anybody else you gonna name?
Not me.
And my team's gonna win, and your team can keep getting sent home.
Give me Magic over Steph.
I'll take Magic. I will take John Stockton as a point guard before
I'll take Magic. All right, let me give my 2 cents because I agree with both of y'all. Ray, like I said, I agree with you on winning. Kenny, I do think the ability to get others open still, dictates how I view as a point guard. I'll say this. Steph Curry obviously is in my top 5 point guards of all time. For a long time, I was having trouble putting him ahead of Oscar and Zeke. I'm going to reevaluate that list. He's definitely above Stockton. I even had trouble putting him above GP. But after listen, y'all tripping. GP was the man. This is Ray. This is before
he led the league in steals once. This idea plays no D in a false narrative.
You gotta understand.
Overrated stat. Stop it.
Thank you. Allen Iverson sat up here and said the only reason he led the league in assists because he had teammates to back him up and he would gamble.
So you're giving credit for assists because of the numbers, but then when you lead the league in steals, it's not a real stat.
I meant steals.
So you some stats mean something, some stats don't. Which side are y'all on?
But don't say you all because I didn't even finish my argument yet.
Do they matter? You are the best in the entire league at one thing on a defensive stat. You must be somewhat decent at defense.
No,
that's not
proof. So if that's the case, why don't other people that are terrible at defense lead the league in steals? If it's so easy that somebody that can't play defense can do it.
I don't even know how we got here. I don't even know how we got here. I didn't even finish.
Y'all are Steph haters.
No, because
how am I hating on Steph? You didn't even let me finish talking.
You compared. I had to struggle to get him ahead of GP. Are you kidding me?
But you didn't tell me when I had to struggle to make this decision. I didn't say it was after. I didn't say it was yesterday. I didn't say it was 2 days ago. This is the first time I ever made my all-time list, Ray. You will let me finish. You will understand that this wasn't this year, last year.
It's that easy to put.
It took a while for people to just give Michael the thing. It took a while for people to just give LeBron the thing. Steph Curry had to build his resume. And Steph Curry didn't take this. Okay, so let me finish talking now. It took a while for Steph to deserve to get to where he's at right now. He had to build up his resume. This Finals MVP was important for his resume. You like you're going in for a job. You could talk a good game, but if your resume doesn't back it up, it don't matter. He now has a resume. I feel like it's like that. It's like that. Do I put him top 10? I have to go back and look at these players. If he would be, he'd be 9 or 10. I'm telling you right now, he's not going over Kobe, Shaq, Magic, Kareem, Jordan, Bron, and that's 6. And that's 6.
They ain't going over Tim Duncan.
Timmy D, that's 7. Wait. Hold on. Who is he ahead of on that list?
Shaq.
No way.
Oh man.
Do y'all remember the big Aristotle? Do you remember the big Aristotle?
Wait.
Do you remember the big Shamrock?
No way. We talk about
3-time Finals MVP, 36 and 16. 36 and 16.
Yeah, stop. We're not doing
36 and 16.
Let's move on. Because Ray tried to Ray.
I promise you, I really had your back with that winning thing because I feel like I don't look at assists when it comes to stuff because how much he impacts winning. So I don't get
73 and 9. We're just throwing that out.
Losing the finals, it don't matter.
At home, game 7.
So that's my question. So the team. So just so I'm serious, just so I'm clear, I'm just asking. 73 and 9 doesn't matter at all.
No, not at all. It don't mean a thing to me. The Mavericks were the first seed in the Western Conference and lost to an 8 seed. How does regular season matter?
Said Stockton, it don't matter that he lost in the finals. So how you gonna turn around and not?
Thank you, Kenny.
You just said that.
You just said that.
You were the same one arguing about the regular season assists he got. So now we're throwing around all regular. I didn't say was it a definitive thing, but to have the most wins in NBA history in a season could just completely throw it all away.
Yes.
Because you didn't win the finals.
Yes,
that's absurd.
But he doesn't even. They don't even need that on their resume, and they don't want that on their resume because they'd rather have the championship. They would have rather won 55 games and won a championship.
So Russell Westbrook averaging a triple-double for an entire season doesn't matter because he didn't win the finals, right? No regular season award or accomplishment. No. You can't tell me that the team that won the
talking about team success.
Let me finish. Y'all are saying the team that was the player that led the team to the most wins in NBA history, none of it matters because they didn't win the finals. But someone that averaged a triple-double and didn't win the finals does matter? So do we count regular season stats or not? Or do y'all just get to conveniently pick and
said that the season was a failure.
I like how you flip this around,
said the season was a failure because they lost the championship.
My question was, does it matter? Y'all said no.
One has nothing to do with the other.
But no, Ray, I see where you're going, Ray. But in my opinion, it sounds like you're turning a team thing versus a player stat. I'm talking about as a team, like as a team that went in 73 games doesn't mean nothing. I understand he led them. He won the MVP. He did his thing, right?
I just want you to comprehend what y'all are saying. 73 out of 82 games winning that much doesn't matter at all.
As far as what does it matter for? What I'm not understanding.
So what matters then? That's what I guess I don't understand.
So let me ask you a question.
I thought everything mattered.
So let me ask you a question.
If you are discounting that season because of the finals, we should discount everything.
Let me ask you a question now, Ray.
Yes.
Going 73 and 9 and not winning the championship, is that a successful season or no?
It varies, but no.
Yes or no?
Yes. If I won, I don't. Do y'all play? I don't even know how to put this into proper perspective. Yes, that team didn't win the finals. 100% right. It was an epic, historic collapse. They were up 3-1 also. So yes, they lost 3 games in a row. But for y'all to act like that season just was another season. It's crazy to me.
Listen, my freshman team, we went undefeated and lost in the championship. I don't remember that because we lost in the championship. We went undefeated.
Did you just talk about AAU?
Yes, because you were saying,
you're comparing it to the NBA.
What's the difference? You win, then you lose
participation trophies.
Exactly. That's not participation. You were winning. You are the winningest team in the history of the NBA.
Okay, but look, but when people talk about that year and say who's the most successful team, why are they saying the Warriors if they didn't win the most successful thing that determines how successful you are, which is the NBA championship? They did not win that. Okay, they won 73 games. I don't even know how we got here because we're comparing a team thing versus player stats.
No, but that goes on your resume. When you lead a team to the most wins in a season, that goes on your resume.
When they talk about how Michael Jordan led a 72 team, why do they talk about that? Because they got the job done and won a championship. They don't.
We don't know that. We don't know that.
Ray, whenever anybody talks about Stephen Curry and they talk about that season, they talk about it being a failure. They don't celebrate. I haven't even heard
nobody talk about that season in years.
Nobody,
because it's a failure.
Fact, that's the case that they make. That he's not an all-time great. They use that in their case to say he's one knock.
Everybody has their knock. That's his knock. If we be honest, that's his knock.
He won 73 games. That's a knock.
Because he didn't win a championship. Like you're not understanding.
You're all.
I hear y'all, but here's where y'all lose me. Here's where y'all lose me. If we're going to knock him for the regular season, why do we give anyone credit for anything in the regular season? That's where y'all lose me.
No, because there's levels of success. That's the bottom line. Like we could talk about, yes, that is an accomplishment. You going 73-9, breaking the record.
Not the way you're talking, it is not an accomplishment. If anything, it's a negative. Because they didn't finish it all.
Overall, in the overall picture, when you look at that season in its totality, you're gonna say that it's a failure because you didn't finish the job. You can ask, I bet you if you ask anybody on that Warriors team, if they asked them if they thought that season was a success, I guarantee you everyone would say no.
They came up and they tasted hurting them.
Y'all, this is, I don't know why we are missing each other. Sure. Was the end of the season a failure? Yes. But if that's the case, that's everyone's case. Every year, there's one successful person.
Absolutely.
And so if that is the case, then throw out all regular season awards.
No.
I don't understand why this particular metric gets knocked, but others don't.
Because there's levels. There's levels. Like there's levels to it. Like you're gonna celebrate milestones. So this is just one. This is one of those parts of the milestone. Like,
but you're acting like that's not a token of any kind of significance. You're saying I agree with you. I didn't say it was the end all be all. I'm asking you, does it matter? You guys said it doesn't even matter. So you can't tell me it's a milestone or it's a stepping stone.
Let's rephrase.
It doesn't even matter.
Has a little significance compared to NBA championship. It has a grain of
salt. Big picture, it's a failure.
It means nothing.
So scoring titles, do they matter or not? If you lead the league in scoring but don't win the title,
that's part of your resume. That's part of your. That's an individual.
But wins are not. Wins are not.
But that's an individual.
I said when you look up, when you go on basketballreference.com and it shows you their resume. When you look at Stephen Curry and those Warriors team, it doesn't show 73-9. It shows NBA championships. It now shows Finals MVP. It shows scoring titles. It doesn't show going 73-9. So we talk about resume. I don't when I'm naming off things Steph Curry did, Draymond Green did, Klay Thompson did.
It's not
I'm not naming that 73-9 thing because they won things that actually mattered.
Yeah, that's a low light. That's not a highlight.
No,
I see what you're saying. 73 wins is good.
We disagree.
So the 73 wins is more important than MVPs?
But I don't want to hear nobody else talk about team success or regular season award because they don't really matter.
Okay.
They don't matter.
You put on
and I don't even know why we have this Larry Bird and Magic Johnson award because it ain't the finals. Because Steph has that on his resume, but that don't count either, right?
He put on this Freddie hat today, Kenny. I see what it is.
We just you're just gonna be a contrarian.
I just realized we were talking about
a contrarian. Like I'm trying to support greatness.
No, you're being a contrarian because nobody's saying that those things are not. Those things
you have literally said that.
No, we're not saying that they're not levels of success, but it's not the ultimate prize. And I don't care.
I never said it was an ultimate prize. I only asked, does it matter?
It said it's levels of success, but it's still a failure in the long run. Like we're gonna say, yeah, it was great. We won the Western Conference championship. I'm sure they got a band up there for that season, Western Conference champion. But they still gonna say in the long and ultimately that this wasn't a successful season. They ain't had no parade. They didn't have no parade for that.
We talk about Steve Kerr. I bow out this conversation.
Yeah, let's move on.
We've been talking about this for 20 minutes and going nowhere.
Can y'all and we won't spend a lot of time on this. I wanted to spend more time, but we won't. Can either one of you please tell me why Magic Johnson is better than Steph Curry as a point guard? Besides, he has more assists than him.
Look how we talk about. You go ahead, get it. You watch them play.
I just want to hear.
I'm gonna say the same things, but go ahead, Kenny.
Where do I start? Making his teammates better, giving his guys easy baskets. You know how much easier he made the game for Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. How many layups he got for James Worthy. How many wide open jumpers he got for Byron Scott. Matter of fact, he made Michael Cooper, who he couldn't even score. He had him averaging double figures because guys got layups. They got easy shots. He was the definition of a point guard. He was the quintessential point guard, and he was a leader. And I give Steph Curry Curry credit. He's a leader as well, but he's not a leader on the level of Magic Johnson. He don't elevate the guy. He don't elevate the play of his teammates around him. They play better because they play with him.
Have you seen?
But it's more
okay. We can move on. If you're about to tell me that the way Steph Curry, the way teams guard him, doesn't allow his teammates to get better shots at an incredibly unprecedented level, stop.
We don't need. They have to get their own shots, but there's a difference. There's a difference in them having to score on their own as opposed.
Who has to score on their own?
Hold on, let me finish. It's a difference between having to hit an open shot. It's a difference between having an opportunity to score based off of the actions that are happening in the offensive set, as opposed to the person with the ball in their hands orchestrating and making it happen for you. There's a difference. There's a difference between me giving you a layup and then you creating a layup for yourself. Can you understand that?
I do, and I don't see that happen. I see a whole bunch of people getting wide open layups because they're giving Steph way too much attention, and they have to guard him 35 feet from the basket. But you're right. Clay scored 60 because he did it all on his own. I think he had like 11. I think he had 11 dribbles, so he was creating a whole bunch of shots.
No, but my point is that I guess you just see the game differently. Like as a point guard, your job is to orchestrate the offense and put guys in position to be able to be successful. The great point guards create shots for their teammates. The great point guards get their teammates layups. The great point guards puts their teammates in position where they can be successful, not on their own. That's the difference. That's what great point guards do.
Any of those Warriors outside of Steph Curry creating his own shot.
Andrew Wiggins don't create shots for himself.
Creates
Jordan Poole got here this year.
But you said
and usually they're not on the court together.
I would say Draymond Green's a better point guard than Stephen Curry.
Okay. What's the next topic?
He the playmaker on that team.
You asked for his opinion. I'm not. Listen, Kenny, you said most of what I was going to say. I don't even want to say nothing else. I'm not. He's not over. First of all,
offense run through Draymond Green more than it does Stephen Curry, but I digress.
Magic's still over Steph.
All day, every day.
Stuck in the past. I got y'all. Steve Kerr. Well, I don't even know if he had this up because winning don't really matter.
All right,
Kerr now has 9 rings as a player and a coach. Obviously, well, I guess he should get more credit because y'all don't give Steph a lot. So, where does he rank all time in coaching field?
That's
tough. Chris.
That's tough. Like off the back, I really think about it. Off the back, you would say top 10. Even though he's been coaching for, I'm not holding this against him. So let me just say this: I'm not holding this against him that he's been coaching for a short time. I just want to see like how long can his coaching success like last. That's what I'm trying to say. Because you look at guys like they came in and won early, like a Phil Jackson, like a Pat Riley. And then you saw them later on in their career coach different teams, and you saw them have different type of success. Phil Jackson went on and coached the Lakers team, ended up winning 5 championships. Pat Riley went on and he coached the Knicks team, very good, didn't win, and then he won when he was with Miami. So I just kind of want to see how Steve Kerr's career is going to go as a coach. But right now, how fast he just jumped out, and and a lot of people, and I was one of the people saying, man, he just took over Mark Jackson's team. How good of a coach is he really? He did make a lot of adjustments to this roster, so we're going to give him his credit. He did change the play style, which I'm going to give him his credit. And, look who he learned from. He learned from the 2 best. And Pop, he learned from Phil Jackson. Look who he learned from. And look who he played with from the greats. He knows different play styles. I think it's time Steve Kerr gets his flowers. He is one of the greatest coaches of all time. Again, I'm going to just easily say top 10. Top 5, I would really have to think about, but I would not argue if anybody would throw him in their top 5. Honestly, Steve Kerr is definitely going to go down as a legend. Again, I'm not holding this against him. I'm actually giving him his credit for coaching for this short and having this many rings. I just want to see, like I said, how his career going to go, because if he's able to keep up this type of success, because we're going to talk about the Warriors later, if he's able to keep up this type of success, he might rival Phil and Pop.
Kenny, you're a coach.
Yeah, I'm with Chris. I think he's right. To me, you got, in terms of a coach in Mount Rushmore, you got Red Auerbach, Phil Jackson, Pat Riley, and Popovich in terms of Mount Rushmore. That's probably what you would say in terms of Mount Rushmore. And then like right outside of that, and that next tier is Steve Kerr. There's no question about it. Like the fact that Chris already covered it, but I just think the biggest thing that he did with Golden State was, like you said, he changed their playing style. He put the ball in Draymond Green's hands, which was huge. Like that really unlocked the offense. Mark was playing at the time. He's playing David Lee. Draymond Green was coming off the bench. So that move of putting Draymond Green in the starting lineup, that pretty much unlocked, and that pretty much got the ball rolling for them. So I got to give him credit for that. But yeah, he's like right outside of there, and I think to Chris's point, I think he's right on Pop's heels. Like he's nipping on his heels, because 4 championships in 8 seasons. Like that's Red Auerbach territory. I don't even know if Phil Jackson did that. So he's nipping right on his heels. So I'm gonna give. So like I said, I got him right outside that Mount Rushmore. So he is top 5. So those guys will be the top 4, I would say. And then he's right there with, and he's not done. So he can eventually move into that Mount Rushmore if he continues, depending on how long he wants to coach. But he's right now right on that outside looking in of that top 4. So he's top 5 right now, I would say.
There were some guys I feel like he was tied with. Like I feel like him and Chuck Daly. I'm gonna name some names. Right. Chuck Daly, Casey Jones, Nelly, Spo. I think. I think we talk about winning. You got
to put Spo in there. Yeah, he's right. To me, he's right on that tier with Spo and
he's just a step ahead. Like he's knocking on that Mount Rushmore.
Absolutely.
As far as those guys are in the top 5, top 6, top 7, I think Steve Kerr is now past them, and he's knocking on the Pops. He's knocking on the Phil Jacksons, the Pat Rileys, the Red Auerbachs. I think he's knocking on that door now.
Absolutely.
So I heard y'all didn't mention a name, and I'm kind of surprised Chris didn't mention it. So y'all have him, it sounds like, above Larry Brown.
Oh, yeah.
Really? Yeah. Look, I love Larry Brown. Yeah. I do. But like I said,
you know why?
He's knocking on a different door right now.
His job hopping hurt his resume. Like, the fact that he didn't really stay with, I think Philly was his longest tenure in terms of an NBA franchise. But he just job hopped a little. That job hop, I think, hurt his resume.
Impact wise, Larry Brown is so great, but you got
sure.
You got when you look at coaching, is like, because I look at Nelly, right? Nelly, small ball. I look at all these guys with his impact.
Yeah, innovative.
I think his impact plus winning, and right now Steve Kerr is beating a lot of guys because he has the impact and he's adding the winning. So I think that is what's helping him knock on that Mount Rushmore. I think Ray's upset that we're talking about Steve.
No, Ray about to say something disrespectful. Go ahead.
No, not even. So here's my thing about coaching, and this is consistent, and why I have a tough time with this conversation. I don't trust, and this is my knock on Magic, and I didn't get to give my Magic take, which is fine. But when we don't want to hear. Go ahead. When you are constantly surrounded by greatness, it's hard for me to compare you to people who never had that level of greatness. I don't know what Jerry Sloan or Rudy Tomjanovich or even in Mike D'Antoni. If Mike D'Antoni had Steph and Clay, like I don't know what that
I
looks
think he
like.
still would have found a way to mess that.
And that's fine. We can.
I like where you're going, though. I like where you're going.
But I didn't get to see the only person I've really seen do it and really fail to me, and this is why I'm so down on him is Doc Rivers. I think he's had a ton of talent.
Don't get me started. Don't get me started.
But there's a lot of other coaches that I think are good coaches. We talked about Spo. Spo looked phenomenal when he got LeBron, D Wade, and Chris Bosh. He's done a great job, I think, getting them back with Jimmy Butler and some of the other guys.
Reached the finals with a lackluster team.
He did.
Yeah, that team had no business.
Had them close again. So that's why it's tough for me to just leap on the Steve Kerr bandwagon because I've never seen him not be. Well, I did, and they were the worst team in the league 2 years ago. So, fair. And maybe that was by design, where Draymond was really the only person playing, and it was probably to their benefit to lose. But it's hard for me to really extend that top five to him. But then I got to start looking at everybody else. Red had phenomenal teams, majority of his career. Phil, with Mike, with Shaq and Kobe, like he was great.
But you got to.
Phil lost.
To be fair though, Ray, real quick, you can't win without talent. Like it goes hand in hand.
I agree, but Rick Carlisle figured it out, and that team wasn't as great as.
Yeah, I mean, you could get, lucky.
That's my point. So I'm not saying coaches
are. Have a rebuttal. They had the best players. He had the best player in that series.
That's fair.
Series, yeah.
In the playoffs. See, Dirk. But right, I'm with you. Like it's hard to judge a coach. But it's like it's so back and forth.
But
like,
you got to look at the stats when it comes to coaching.
Yeah,
because that's really all you can judge, unless you see
impact
coaches go somewhere, change culture. You see somebody with a lesser team like Memphis this year, without John Morant, and what they were able to accomplish. To me, that's coaching.
You don't think Steve Kerr changed their culture in Golden State?
No, I don't think he did. I think he built on it.
Expanded on it.
Yeah, I think he built on it. I was Jackson really changed the culture.
We all in agreement. I just was curious because I feel like we all saying the same thing. Ray, I don't know if you heard what I said earlier, but like for me to really put him up there, I need to see him coach longer. Not trying to take nothing away from him, but like you see how great a coach is when he coaches longer. Pop coached forever, and he won championships in different eras. That's why we were able to, hear him say that. It's better than Spo. He'll be better than Pop. I can't be mad at you because he learned from the greats.
But he ain't way better. He's not way better than Spoelstra.
I think you put Eric Spoelstra in Golden State.
They win championships, no question about it.
I think if Mark Jackson stays, now the one of the things I will give Kerr credit for is that KD dynamic. I think was a lot to take in and figure out. We've seen since KD left, he ain't really. Nobody else has been able to get that.
He ain't have a real coach since, man.
But
I'm sorry.
I also would say I think it was easy for them to bring KD in, also because of the veterans you already had there. That was established. And I heard somebody else, I think it was on Undisputed today, and they were talking about Jermaine O'Neal it was at the parade. And they were saying one of the reasons that core works so well together is because they know how to lose. And the point that they were making is when you lose, how do you respond? They said, I can have anybody to go along for the ride and win. But when you lose, how do you respond? And I think you needed that dynamic. The fact that they said 10 years later, they still sit at the table together. Like I think it's really hard to mess that up. We saw what Luke Walton did with that group. He was on pace to be a Hall of Fame coach when Steve Kerr was out. And now he's got fired twice.
Talent, man. Talent makes coaches look really good.
And that's what I'm saying. So
that's fair. That's fair.
Because I feel like there's a bunch of other coaches. If you give them Michael Jordan or Kobe and Shaq, they'd probably be pretty good.
That's why I want to see this next wave. I know it's on the topics to come, but that's why I want to see Mark Jackson change the culture. Yeah, and we all agree with you.
That's what we said.
That's why I want to see this next wave of the Warriors, because we're going to talk about it. This next wave, if he stays there and coaches this team like how Pop stayed, it's really going to show how great.
Yeah, that's a great point.
That determines a lot with a coach. A good transition.
And we can actually we'll go right there, and then we can kind of come back to the other question. So, what do the Warriors do going forward? Like, they got decisions. Jordan Poole wants his money. They got Wiggins on the max. They got Draymond on the max. They got Clay on the max.
And
they got Steph on the max.
All three of them.
Yeah. So you got the young core with Kuminga, Payton. Looney's going to be a free agent. He had some big moments. You got to make a decision on Wiseman as well.
Yep,
so
Payton, you see what you're going to do with Payton. You're going to bring him back?
Iggy, if Iggy comes back.
Yeah, he's probably retiring. I'd be surprised.
Otto Porter's a free agent also. So we saw, I don't know if y'all saw, but Bazemore tweeted because he could have went back to the Warriors for more money.
Mm-hmm.
But he wanted a bigger role with the Lakers, and he played himself. So I definitely think with this core intact, you can get cheap veterans. I think they're now that destination. And we saw that with David West and others a couple years ago.
Yep.
But they got decisions to make. So what do you guys see the Warriors doing? I'll start with you, Chris.
Listen, the best case scenario is you run it back. Because I look at this team, right? As they're
real quick, Chris or Kenny, do y'all know what the luxury tax bill currently is?
I don't.
They have to. I saw something where they're paying the most. They're already paying the luxury tax. I think that they got the highest payroll in the league.
I just asked because you say I'm running back. That's the issue.
No, I said the best case scenario. No.
Good.
Their best case scenario would be if they could run it back. But we're going to have a reality check. That's not going to happen.
You're crazy, Mike.
Oh, man, hilarious.
Yeah, go to sleep, Dan. Did you see the team that he did in the bubble that they led to the finals?
Would have been nice.
Yeah, you could die on that hill, Mike.
LaMelo would have started, but here, listen, let's not even go into that. You know, this is how I look at it, right? Your best case scenario is that one, James Wiseman is healthy, and then Kuminga and Moody take that next step in this offseason. That will determine a lot, because if those players are able to take their game to the next level, you don't have to cash out. Now you gotta look at Wiggins, you gotta look at Poole, you gotta look at Looney. In my opinion, unless you gotta go big or go home with a trade. I think that's what they're looking at right now. See if they can bring back a top level free agent. I would want them to keep Wiggins because of his defensive ability. But like I said, if Kuminga's able to take that next step,
yo, Mike, you crazy.
Mike, wow.
Wow.
Clay's playing the three.
Yeah, you wildin'.
I for what it's worth, Mike, I kind of agree with you, but I'll get to that when it's my turn.
Yeah, look, all right. Listen, I'm wrapping up. Mike is crazy. Listen, trade, get a big name guy if you can. If not, hope Kuminga, Moody, and Wiseman take that next step. But look for some big trades. If I'm
Chris, this is called real talk. You can't just say big trade. Who do they trade?
It's tough. It's really tough because, like I said, Wiggins and his defense.
You're in the chair. Who you trading? I don't want to hear it's tough.
Oh, I got it. I got the trade, but I'm gonna let Chris go.
Go ahead, Chris.
Looney's gone.
That don't solve your salary cap issue for real. There's 4 max guys. Somebody got to go.
Wiggins. I don't know, man. I don't know.
I got it.
We'll let Chris off the hook. Go ahead, Kenny.
Oh no.
If I'm Golden State, I am trading Draymond Green.
I couldn't say it. I couldn't say it.
I'm trading Draymond Green because, to me, I think you have a younger.
You won't have a point guard if you trade Draymond Green, though.
You don't have a point guard.
Well, I'm not. No, you got a point guard. You got the all-time great Steph Curry.
Apparently not. Apparently not.
Listen,
what you you got
they don't have a.
I'm just going over. He's the greatest point guard to me.
No, I'm saying I'm saying you trade Draymond Green because I think you have to
Mike's
open up some playing time.
I like that, Mike, but that's crazy.
You got to open up some playing time for Kuminga. You got to open up some playing time for Wiseman. And to me, I think that does. Also, that gets that money off your deck so that you can re-sign Jordan Poole.
I can't do
and
it.
Re-sign Wiggins, because there's no way that they're going to be able to sign all of those guys if you keep Draymond, Steph, and Clay. That's already 3 max. That's 3 max deals and a 4th max deal in Andrew Wiggins. You cannot. There's no way that you can build a roster out with 4 max deals. So
Kenny, my question though is, if you trade Draymond, are you not trading him for a max player? Because
I think
you bringing back a 4th max deal.
Maybe not. You may be able to do it for some from some younger pieces, and maybe you kind of put a couple of young guys together, and you could also it could be a 3-team deal.
It would have to be.
You probably have to get you might have to get another team involved so you could get some young pieces back on the deal and not and try to and be able to scrape the salary or be able to.
So you would trade your stalwart veteran for young pieces? You got a bunch of young pieces.
I think you have to, because you can't afford. You're not going to be able to afford to pay those other guys. So to me, that's because another reason is you can't trade Clay. No one's trading for Clay. He's damaged goods. So to me, that's probably your most for the lack of a better term, it's probably your most tradable asset. If you're not, unless you're trading the younger guys,
Wiggins
to me,
is the most tradable asset.
Your most tradable asset.
Wiggins and Wiseman are the most tradable assets. But I don't listen.
Hey.
I'm lost because I don't know what to do, and I usually never this lost.
Yeah, I would rather. To me, I would rather do that because you already have. You have the defender. You have the wing defender in Wiggins. You have another guy that's a stupid athlete in terms of Kuminga. I think he's going to wind up being a great defender as well. To me, I think he's going to wind up being he's probably going to be a better version of Draymond Green in that system. So right. I think to me, that's the move that you make.
Real quick, right before you go, the reason why I say, even though it means nothing, why I say Wiseman over Looney is Wiseman is a lob threat that Looney could never be. That athleticism would be very, very different. But it means nothing because they got too many players wanting max money. And I don't know what they do.
Hey, Gary Payton talking about, I read something that Gary Payton talking about he asking for 15 to 20 billion this offseason.
And he should. You should ask for it.
No, he should. But listen.
So, but my point is that right there lets you know that they're not going to be able to afford to bring everybody back.
No, I think it's clear they're not bringing. They have to move one of those 4. Unless they're going to pay, I think it's a couple $100 million in luxury because they're repeated.
I think it's like they're like 300 something million. I saw something, but they paying some crazy salary cap.
So if I'm GP2, you potentially
got to go for the bag now. The iron is high.
You saw your career flash before your eyes when your elbow shattered. That could have been it. Go get your money. You got your ring. You're not going to be an all-time great player. Go get your money. Like if you're not going to be an all-time great, I don't know why you're chasing rings, to be perfectly honest. Chase the bag. Like, go somewhere you can get your stats, have a fun career. But if you ain't going to be an all-time great and be graded for the rings you got, who cares? Like,
winning matters to some people. I'm with you. Get that bag. But, like, if you can get that bag and still be competitive, but I'm with you. Get your bag.
$346 million.
I knew it was like a couple $100 million. So I don't believe you can bring them back. And the truth is, Andrew Wiggins better than Clay. He's the better version of Clay. He's the more consistent version.
Right now, yeah. But I will say though, to be fair with Clay, we got to see how he looks coming back this season. Because this will he'll have a whole season where he doesn't have to rehab, where he could just work on his game, work on his skills. So I think we're going to see a better version of Clay next season.
I've said this, and I know it won't happen. But I break it up, and there's a guy in LA that you can go get.
Oh, and I think, please do not say LeBron.
I think you do what you got to do to go get him.
He's not going. Like he's not going to go.
You don't think LeBron James will leave LA to go to Golden State?
You know how much?
You might as well run it back with Draymond then.
What's the difference?
You compare Draymond to LeBron? Is that what I'm hearing?
So, like, I thought we were doing so they wouldn't have to pay that $300 million.
Yeah,
I thought this was the.
So you got to move them.
You're not helping your salary cap situation.
You got to move them both. Clay and Draymond got to go. The replacements are already on the roster.
Yo, listen, I'm entertaining this. I'm telling you right now, if this trade happens,
Jordan Poole and Jonathan Kuminga are there to be the replacements.
If this trade happens,
you can get some. You don't even. I don't know if you put them in the same deal. I don't know if it's a 3-team deal.
That's too much.
It's too much.
You got to move. You have to move both. You can't just move one. I think if you simply trade Andrew Wiggins, which is the logical answer, but again, you can't bring back a max salary. It defeats the purpose. So I think they're going to lose whoever they trade because they're going to have to take lesser tier players on smaller deals. So I think you could take the risk. I think Miles Bridges wants to get paid.
Mm-hmm.
I think Clay and Charlotte makes a lot of sense.
Miles Bridges.
That's actually not. If I'm Charlotte, I might look at that because you need that veteran.
I think Gordon Hayward is his deal up yet.
I was just gonna say, and he hasn't panned out. So you pair him with LaMelo Ball. Like, you know how many open jumpers you're gonna get if you Klay Thompson playing off of LaMelo Ball?
You get to go to the East. You get to go play under the Jordan brand. And I think that offense is dynamic for what Clay does. I bring back a lesser deal. You can throw some fills. I'm sure Charlotte might have.
That's a great point, though, Jay.
A couple bad. I think Gordon, they only got like a year or two left on that awful deal.
But I'm saying, like, that's the point. Like, it's hard. It would be hard if I'm Michael Jordan. You're asking me a lot if I'm going to. After I've spent this money on Gordon Hayward and how injured he was, now you're going to tell me to bring in a guy that's just been out the last 2 years? That's tough.
Different skill sets.
But I'm just saying, still, that's tough, though.
I hear you. But if you want to win, you got to take that risk. And I am somewhat out on Clay, but I think in that style of offense, I think he'll be definitely exceptionally dynamic. And I think he will significantly enable LaMelo Ball's ability to get to the basket because you can't leave Clay. Like, I know he didn't shoot well. Shooters shoot. Like, that Dell Curry can shoot to this day better than most. So I don't think that leaves. And I don't like Zach LaVine as a Clay replacement.
Hold up, though. You know what's funny, though, about that? Mike early in the beginning of the year, Mike was talking about LaVine and DeRozan, that combination was the best thing since sliced bread. Now he want the guy out of town. What happened, Mike?
Because he got it's too much for the Bulls right now. He don't know who to pick. Everybody thinks you have to pick one. That's because they didn't have Lonzo Ball, but that's neither here nor there.
It's not, but that's okay. And I like Lonzo, but listen, I don't think he's.
I'm gonna be honest.
He's it.
I'm still confused on what the Warriors going to do. I like what you were saying, Ray, except for the LeBron thing. LeBron thing caught me off guard.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
I think that's the easiest fix. I think it works for everybody.
But it's not happening. Why would the Lakers do that? Why would the Lakers
do that? That basically.
If I can get Wiseman and
Clay, you might as well get rid of Wiggins and Kuminga.
Wiseman and Clay.
Both of them minutes.
Wiseman and Clay barely add up enough to get Anthony Davis. You think that's enough to get LeBron James?
I think if you're a Laker right now, I think you take what you can get. And if you have you
can get so much more than Wiseman and Clay if they were actually taking phone calls.
No, because LeBron only has a couple places you want to go. So you ain't getting nothing if you don't want to go.
I'm saying if you go, but I think what Chris is saying is if you go to the state, you could get a better deal for those two guys than LeBron James.
That too.
Who?
Because think about it. This is LeBron.
This is a 2-year window for everybody. It's a 1 year. Steph has
a 1 year window because he's up after this year, I believe.
Is he up after this year or next year?
This year. LeBron is up after this year.
I'll be honest. I'm gonna
fact check it, but I'm pretty sure
he would have to okay the trade.
He picked Steph every All-Star game. You don't think he would want to play in Golden State versus coming back to Russell Westbrook and Anthony Davis? If I'm LeBron James today, do I want to go play in Golden State with those guys, or at least Steph, because they'll probably have to send one of those two back. He is in business and loves Draymond.
He's done after. He's one more year. He's done after next year.
LeBron, please do not go to.
So you're not doing that if you're Golden State.
LeBron, please.
You're not trading those two guys.
That helps me better because that means I get the expiring contract next year versus Clay, who has 2 more years.
Yeah, you got a good point, Jay. Bron, Steph, and who? Young guys, but that's enough. That's enough. That's enough. Bron, who are young guys, is more than enough.
And that's what I'm saying. No. You still got the young guys.
You still got Poole. You still got everybody.
Trey Russell Westbrook will get Kyrie. He don't want to be in New York no more. Can you let him know?
I'm coming to the Knicks. Come on home, baby. We're ready for you.
You think
come to the real stadium? Come play for the real Knicks.
Listen, everything that could have went wrong. Went wrong, as in they should have never hired Frank Vogel from the get-go. I promise you, if Jason Kidd was the head coach last year, they would have made the playoffs last year. That's all I'm going to say. It's not a Lakers show.
They wouldn't have went nowhere.
Yeah, especially if AD was as injured as he was.
I'm just saying. I think the Lakers got decisions to make. Golden State has decisions to make.
Yeah, I'm not doing that if I'm Golden State.
I'm not doing. Listen. Let's go back to let's go back to the Charlotte thing. I heard Miles Bridges.
I like that better.
I love Miles Bridges and Gordon Hayward. I like that better. I don't think LeBron. I'm telling you right now, right? If that was to happen, I will send whatever you want to your house. I would send a signed jersey for you because
I'm gonna call my man Rich. He'll get it done.
Because I predicted Chris Paul going to Phoenix. I asked anybody. I'm serious. Ask Jay.
No, Jay. I said Clay and Wiseman. And you can add a first because their first always suck anyway.
You're gonna have to add.
I was gonna say I think they traded their first anyway.
Drake Wiseman isn't enough. You probably gonna have to add somebody else like you, man.
You have a potential big of the future. That's LA culture.
He ain't play, man.
LeBron's leaving. Let's also remember that. He is leaving.
Says who?
Who we talking about, Chris?
He coming to Philly?
Who we talking about?
Or
there's a reason why he signed these short-term deals so he can have leverage to be able to do what he wants.
LeBron is leaving. Russ is also leaving.
Come to Philly when it beat.
So in 2 years, would you rather have Clay and Wiseman for maybe another 4 to 5 years that you can build around, or would you rather have nothing?
I wish Freddie was here.
But to me, I think you can get at least another 2 to 3 years out of Clay. So I'm not. But right, so that's to me. That's why I wouldn't do that because you like you said, it's year to year with LeBron.
All I'm going to say is
he's LeBron.
Wait, now look.
But why would you break up a championship roster for a guy that you're only going to have for 1 year?
Real quick, let me ask you.
When you already got you got Clay signed for the next 2
because
years.
I can almost guarantee that I'm gonna get another ring next year.
Let me ask you this question. I really want to see where our mindset at. Is it easier to replace Klay Thompson for the Warriors in what he does or Draymond? Which one's easier to replace?
I think Clay
easier to replace Clay. Yes,
Clay 2.0 is on the roster. His name's Jordan Poole.
Yes, I agree.
Because Jordan Poole don't play no defense. It's Moody.
Clay don't play no defense right now either. And you still
still is a 10.
And you still have Andrew Wiggins.
No, I'm with you on that. But let's be real. The future for Golden State is Moody, Kuminga, and Wiseman. That is their future and Poole. But that future is going to have to get cut short.
Well, depends on if you sign Andrew Wiggins because he's only 25, 26 too.
Andrew Wiggins like 20. He's 25.
No, he's 25, 26.
I think
Andrew Wiggins been in the league for like 7 years. Hold on.
But he was the one and done.
I think Kansas, if I remember correctly.
He's 27.
Yep.
27.
Which is why you trade Clay. I keep telling you.
2 of those guys are gonna have to go. Listen, we running in circles. Listen, they're gonna Klay Thompson and Steph Curry coming to Philly. We train everybody from the beat. I feel like Freddie right now, man. I'm tired of losing.
Yeah, you're right, though. I would have definitely.
Yes, you're right. He was a bad man. That's my point. Move him while he still has some value.
Y'all saying it like why it's so easy.
Yeah, I don't think Clay has the same value though.
And that's the reason why I think they're going to trade Wiggins. I think they're going to trade Wiggins because they're not going to break up those three. Those three will get the opportunity. They will get.
I can agree with you, but I think for the long run, for the long run, though, I think that they will be better served with going with Wiggins over Clay.
I agree.
I understand the loyalty.
The business side, it's a no-brainer to me. Wiggins is better today
and younger,
future than Clay.
Yeah,
with his injury history. But
that's so tough, bro.
Do you blow it up chasing a ring, basically? Because that's what you're doing it for, is the ring. Are you gonna? You don't want to come off his team.
How do you replace Draymond? Not just the toughness, but the defense. But the defensive anchor.
PJ Tucker's gonna be a free agent.
He's not replacing Draymond.
My point is, you will get I think you can get the grittiness and the toughness, and Kuminga can play a similar role.
But Kuminga is not a playmaker like Draymond.
Steve Kerr is the coach. If Steve Kerr is the coach that we think he is, you figure it out without Draymond.
You right, but it's so tough. Like it's like I don't even. It's tough. Like. Can we move on? Can we talk about Boston or something? My brain is going to explode.
You're dying to jump in on this. Go ahead.
Clay and Wiseman for Devin Booker. Ain't going anyway.
My only problem.
Ain't is going anyway.
Clay and Wiseman ain't enough for Bron.
That's what I'm saying.
The Lakers, Jay, you got to remember you're going to lose.
He's going to walk.
But no, I understand more. You can get more. If you really want to trade him, you're getting more.
But that's not asking a lot for a guy that you think is going to walk next year.
But Kenny, here's the thing: if we were talking about Kuminga or somebody else with a higher ceiling that played, I would understand. Wiseman he's on injured reserve. LA is not pulling the trigger for LeBron for that. And there's two reasons. Even 1 year in losing him, they will still make double the money they would make for 3 years off of having Clay and Wiseman.
One more thing, Jay. AD has said repeatedly, I don't want to play center.
That's why they're never going to win again.
Wiseman solves that for the foreseeable future.
That is true.
Okay, so this is the other thing. Now you got two fragile knees on your team.
You stuck with him anyway.
I don't know. Wiseman's the wrong team.
Well, wait though. Hold on, Jay. Let's not. So
Jay,
let's not get carried away. We don't really know how bad this. This could have been the Golden State just holding them out as a precaution. We can't just say that Wiseman.
I think it is.
I think they just held him out.
He could have came back and played, but there was no point.
I agree with that part, maybe towards the end, but
that's a meniscus. This wasn't no ACL.
But the injury's still there, and we've seen time and time again athletic 4s and 5s come out, get that injury, and not be that guy anymore, and have to reshape their game.
The kid he's 20 years old.
Jay, we're watching this on a much lesser level. We're watching it play out right now in Cleveland with the Browns. You have an asset. But people know the value's dead because he don't want to go nowhere or don't want to do nothing. No, LeBron has a no trade. There's only 2 places he might want to go.
But I don't think
I believe Golden State is one.
Problem with this, it's not Wiseman ain't going. That's why I said it's gonna have to be. This is why my question was, who are they gonna play with? Because it's gonna have to be Clay. It's gonna have to be like Poole and Kuminga.
The Lakers don't have the cards. You got to take what you can get.
But you're not. But LeBron is not getting you. This is not prime LeBron. This is LeBron. This is 37, 38-year-old LeBron with the
and he gets to pick where he goes.
Puppy and breaks, bro. Average 30 a year. And
I understand, but again, this is a 37 going on 38-year-old.
He better than 24-year-old Jason.
Yeah, but answer me this. Hey, Jay, answer this for me. Where do you think LeBron would be willing to play at?
LeBron ain't committed nowhere.
It doesn't matter.
It does matter because you can't trade him anywhere.
LeBron would play in Detroit if they moved the right pieces around him.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm not doing that.
What Chris is trying to say is, if LeBron is able to do this much dictating of where the heck he's going, he has that much pull and that much value still. And that's what
I agree.
Say that
So Clay and Wiseman is not enough. They're going to have to give up more.
And so in 2 years, you Lakers fans are going to have no Russ or LeBron.
Here's one
and
thing.
you're going to get nothing for it.
Here's
Steph
one
was
thing.
like, nah, I'm good. Steph already said I'm good. He don't want that deal.
You're not considering too. LeBron ain't walking. It ain't
And that's Steph's team, so he ain't.
It ain't gonna be.
Steph got to sign off on this. I don't think he's signing off on that.
Table. LeBron don't leave no money on the table. It will not be a walk. It will be a sign and trade at the very least.
And so guess who's going to pick where he goes?
He hasn't been signing and trading anywhere.
He ain't
all his other teams he walked from.
But
he never did a sign and trade. All those teams he walked from.
He can't just do that. So
but that's the point, though. You said that, like you said that he's not.
He has a player option for next year. Yes, he can do that.
He can sign a free agent deal in anywhere. He don't have to do no sign and trade. And he's proven in the past that he won't. He's not going to do no sign and trade.
Get his max money out of it with the new CBA rules. So, with that being said, because he hasn't had he
could still get him. He's going to get a max regardless, though.
Jay, so you're back to my point. So you think LeBron would rather re-sign in LA where it's a bad situation if they won't trade him somewhere he wants to go?
He'll negotiate a deal that's beneficial for LeBron James.
So that's my point.
He'll broker it in a way to where it's probably going to be a sign and trade at this point.
You're making my point. But if the Lakers are trading him, they have to trade him where he wants to go. So you're saying they're not getting enough back. Based on what I believe are his potential destinations, I don't think you're getting a better deal than Clay and Wiseman.
Here's the thing.
That's a terrible
thing. Clay and Wiseman, right? That's what you're saying. So let's say LeBron James is available today. How's Golden State going to manipulate that?
What do you mean?
That's
Clay and Wiseman is not
a max deal. That's enough.
And no.
The money matches.
Yeah.
Does the talent match?
I'm taking off the table. Let's say he's a free agent right now.
Yeah.
How is Golden State going to manipulate that contract onto their team?
They would trade the necessary piece they have to do.
They have to trade. So my point is, no matter where LeBron goes, he's going to have to create some sort of. The only reason Miami happened was because it was everybody else.
No. That's true for Golden State. If other people have there are teams with a max slot.
He don't want anywhere else. He only got like 2 choices, bro. After that, he's about to retire.
Did you watch LeBron? Second team
So you're telling me he's going to pass up a max deal from even if it's a non-playoff team? You just said he don't pass up no more.
I don't think LeBron's just about to go sit somewhere for the last few years of his career.
But you said he don't pass up no money.
Last time that I checked, next year I think Tobias Harris is off the books, right?
But that's the playoff team. He said a non-playoff team.
No, I'm saying LeBron will have choices.
Look at Chris over there, mouth
water. There's going to be a New York. There's going to be.
My point is, LeBron will dictate where he wants to go, and LA would be foolish to not accommodate that. And I don't think any team where LeBron
came here first, LeBron.
How can he dictate where he's going to go? He don't have no trade clause.
I say this.
Yes, he does.
No, he don't.
LeBron has always had a no trade clause.
No, he don't. I'm almost certain he don't have one in this deal. Well, I'm gonna check though.
Check. I'm
because they say because people wouldn't be talking about the Lakers should take calls for LeBron if he had a no trade clause. I say this though. Right. I'm with you. I'm gonna be honest. Clay, I'm standing on this. Clay and Wiseman is not enough. The money might add up, but if I'm the Lakers, if you're going to trade away the guy going to trade away the guy that you sold your future for, I need enough back. Wiseman doesn't add up to Lonzo. Yeah. He doesn't add up to Kuzma. He doesn't add up to Brandon Ingram. He doesn't add up to James Harden. He does Josh Hart. He doesn't add up enough for none of those guys.
None of them.
So and I love James Wiseman. I think he's going to be.
But what deal? Talent. So, but I understand what you guys are saying. But what deal? What deal are you getting? What deal are you getting with LeBron? What trade are you getting where you're going to get comparable value?
The only deal out of Golden State that I see workable is you could do. Clay, Dre, Poole, Wiggins, Clay.
No, you're not doing that.
Or Wiggins, Kuminga.
Golden State is not doing that.
Poole has to go.
That's too much. Clay, Dre, and Poole,
I don't trade
the money wouldn't work trading for 2 or 3 max players. And Jordan Poole wants his extension.
Yeah,
it's too much.
When you get over,
and those
Lakers don't even have enough salary to send back.
Listen. This how it goes. You ready? Buy Tobias Harris, buy Danny Green, buy Tyrese Maxey, buy Matisse Thybulle, James Harden. You can get your ass up to. Bring me the money.
Now you're not getting money.
I'm with y'all. Look, with LeBron, it's either too much or you're getting the return value. It's
not
hard
getting equal value.
You're never going to get equal value for LeBron.
But all right. Let me rephrase. When I say equal value, I mean you're either getting a guy that's a top 25 player or enough young talent to back it up. You're not getting that with just James Wiseman and Klay Thompson. And I'm with you, right? Like I feel like the Warriors have the best chance probably to pull it off, but you got to add more than just those 2 guys. You're probably going to have to throw in.
I think if I'm Golden State, I can sit. We just won a chip. Y'all can take this deal or not. We'll run it back or we'll manipulate something else. There, Paul George. There's other people we can go get.
Woo! That's the one. Let's talk about it. I told y'all how much I love Paul George. If you bring Paul
George, same deal.
Woo,
for Golden State.
Hell yeah, I do that in a heartbeat. Paul George younger. Show me the money.
By all accounts, Kawhi is probably leaving. We know Kawhi is Kawhi. So if I can get,
I wouldn't say that about Kawhi. We don't know what Kawhi left the Spurs because they did him dirty. He left Toronto because he never wanted to be in Toronto. I feel like the Spurs that do him dirty, he would still be rocking a San Antonio uniform.
Possibly. I think if LA's foolish, the Lakers are foolish enough. Why not? Why wouldn't you take it?
I'll say this.
No, if I'm Golden State, I would take that in a heartbeat. If I'm the Clippers, I'm not doing that.
The Warriors have the most ammunition in the league. I want to see if they're going to do what the Celtics did when they had all the tools. And they did nothing.
But the difference is Golden State's, you've seen the talent in that youth. Boston drafted people that couldn't play.
No. This is what I'm. Okay.
I'm talking about because they did draft Drake. They drafted Tatum and Jaylen Brown.
Plus they had they had more potential picks. And all
I'm saying out of all the picks they got, they should have did a lot more, in my opinion.
But to be fair, though, a lot of those picks were for mid and late first round. It wasn't like there was.
So then, all I can say is what it was.
They hit on the lotteries.
All I'm saying, look, we all agree. I'm just saying the Warriors literally are the best team because they would just win a championship. Plus, they have to make moves. But what other team has more players to make moves from than the Warriors? Young, old, it don't matter.
We ain't talked about it yet, but there's a guy in Brooklyn that might be all alone, just begging for somebody to come get him.
I do. He's not going back to Golden State. I do think he's going to be. I do think he's going to be all.
Well,
that's just. I'm not going to lie.
Brooklyn could do again. But with that, Brooklyn could do all the posturing that they want to, but they know that if they let Kyrie walk, Kevin Durant is right.
They've already behind Kenny. They've blown that already.
You know, dang, why James Harden have to piss KD off, man? Why?
Kenny, that bridge is burned. Kyrie, you would know maybe better than me. But
I don't think it's burned yet because I don't think it's burned yet. And this from the outside looking in.
I think this is more posturing though. This is still, this is more posturing. I think both of them are posturing now because, Kyrie's trying to create some leverage to get a deal. Brooklyn's trying to push back and trying to, assert their power. So I think it's just a posturing on both sides. Because to be fair, let's not get it twisted. If Kyrie opts out of this deal, he will get a max deal from somebody.
For sure. Like that. I don't think that's ever up for the
and Brooklyn knows that. So I don't think that they're
Kyrie's going to LA.
But Kenny, we talked about this before. That's why this is so dumb. Brooklyn really has no leverage. You bet your future on this. And if he walks, not only do you lose him, Kevin Durant is also gone.
Yep.
So why they are even playing this game like they have a choice?
Because
can they do sign and trade?
It's one, but that's one of those things where with these organizations, man, they want to feel like they're dictating terms, so they're just trying to
management.
Yeah, it's bad. But in the long run, like you said, we all know what the truth is.
I mean, we do. Zion said he want to play in New York.
Steve Nash should never been hired.
Sure. We good, Zion.
Okay. I wouldn't talk about
I don't need no.
I wouldn't talk about going to play
but you got to remember, man, we got a history of getting stars that broken down stars. I
don't even think Zion's
McDyess, man.
I don't think Zion's broken down. I think honestly, like,
you don't think New Orleans takes that deal today?
What's the deal?
What?
Kyrie for Zion.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They take it 100%.
New Orleans would, yeah. Oh yeah.
Because I'll be honest,
you put him with CJ and Brandon Ingram.
They're not going to win anything, but they're going to be one of those teams that, they might win it for. I don't know. It's tough in the West.
Nah, bro. You put them three together, you got a chance, and you still got Adams, and you got
how much noise you really making. No, okay, I'll give you two. They're making noise.
That's a squad. That's a serious three.
That's a squad. You right. It's just I don't know. That's a squad. The West is so. When I say I don't know, it's not because I don't believe in them.
The West.
It's because it's the West. So, it's because it's the West. That's why it is.
The answer is
no. Mark Jackson.
No, if that was the case, they should have gave him the job in the first place.
Mark Jackson's not going to get hired. That's just he's not. No team's going to hire him anymore. And that's I don't even feel like talking about.
We don't live in a world where he can get hired. I don't believe.
But I hope that's not true. But
no, I wouldn't. You know how I feel about Mark Jackson. He should get hired. I just feel like
it doesn't look like it's going to happen.
But I don't know. I don't know what saves Brooklyn. I don't know what saves Brooklyn. Like I think it's dumb to let Kyrie
honestly
walk.
Though. I think what you need.
Because I think that big three is winning the East.
It's the same thing with the Lakers. To me, it's the same thing with the Lakers, where you get a guy that is, and this is why I applaud the Lakers for hiring Darvin Ham, because based off one of the things that he said in his opening press conference, it seems like he's going to be a guy that's going to hold stars accountable.
That's what you need.
That's what you need in Brooklyn. You need a guy that's going to hold those guys accountable. As much as I love KD and as much as I love Kyrie, like you got to be able to tell these guys when they messing up.
And so, Kenny, real quick to that point, and I meant to say this earlier, and that is another place where, and I talked about the superstar dynamic, I got to give Steve Kerr a lot of credit. By the end of this finals, nobody was talking about Draymond's antics anymore. Yeah. He wasn't playing like he figured it out. He sat him down. I think it was game 4.
Yeah.
In game 5 and 6.
Yeah.
He started hitting threes. So
that's when you knew they was going with.
But to your point, like as far as dealing with, like that's important.
Well, that's the gift. That to me, and that's what makes the Steve Kerrs, the Phil Jacksons, that's what makes them great coaches, is their ability to be able to deal with star players. Like that's a skill within itself, because 100%. Not everybody has the makeup to be able to manage those egos.
Because Doc surely ran off Ben Simmons.
Chill, man. Stop. That's Ben Simmons' fault. That's not Doc's fault.
Don't start with my man Doc. Get off my man Doc.
Nah, Doc trash. Doc trash.
So, gentlemen, do we love or do we hate all this Memphis Grizzlies trash talk?
I love it. Oh, I love it. I love it because they're not afraid to say what they say and stand on it. Win or lose, they're going to be themselves, and I love it because one, it brings the excitement to the NBA. Like now, it's what, June, and we talk about who we want to see for Christmas.
They said they wanted them Christmas,
and they do. And if the NBA would be stupid not to book it, we saw how good they were in the playoffs. And I'll be honest, Ja doesn't get hurt. Not saying that they beat the Warriors, but it might have been a different outcome. It makes a huge difference. We saw it. We saw what they did. We saw how they changed the culture. I love what they're doing because they're being themselves. Young kids that like to hoop, and they're backing it up. Ja went from rookie of the year to he's in the MVP conversation. Like, forget most improved. He's in the MVP conversation, averaging 27 and 7. Becoming the probably, you can argue, the most electrifying player in the NBA right now. Mm-hmm. You look at Desmond Bane. I'm making a case. Not saying he is, but you can make a case. Mm-hmm. I look at Desmond Bane becoming the 2-way player, a sniper. I'm looking at Dylan Brooks, who he likes to hoop. Jaren Jackson Jr.
I didn't see a bunch of it in the playoffs, but okay.
You right on that. That's why I said that if you Pete, that's why I said Desmond Bane first, because I like Desmond Bane more than I like Dillon Brooks. I look at Jaren Jackson Jr. Love the talent, a little disappointed. But the point I'm trying to make is they're gonna talk the talk, they're gonna walk the walk, win or lose or draw. It makes for more entertaining. You know, I love the young youth because that's who they are. They representing my generation. We're gonna talk. We going to talk. And the real one's going to talk and let you know and then still do it. That's why I love Ja Morant, because he's going to say what he's going to do and do it. He's going to stand on his ones and twos, man. So I think it's beautiful for the NBA, long as it doesn't go too far, which I don't think he's going to go too far. I love the trash talk between players, especially because all the older generation say this new generation is too sweet. So I like that it shows, hey, we can be friends. Hey, you know it's true. They say they're too friendly. Right. So I love how they could be friendly but be ultra competitive. I think that's a good thing for the NBA.
So just real quick before I go to you, Kenny.
Don't bring that comment up till I see it. Don't bring that comment up on there. Don't do it.
No, I got to. But he should have been the MVP.
Bro, the best center in the league for the past.
So my follow-up to you, Chris, is in your opinion, dang, Damien threw me off. I had a question for you.
In my opinion, we talking about the Memphis Grizzlies.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So thank you. So what would you say was Klay Thompson's best series of the playoffs?
I mean, you want to say the Memphis series?
I'm going to say the Memphis series. And I think there's a reason.
What's that reason?
Smoke got him fired up.
Jaren Jackson, shut up. There's certain people you just don't mess with.
Yeah, he called him a bum. I was like, ooh.
He called him a bum and a clown.
I love it.
Oof.
He didn't even call him by name. He said some guy is a bum and a clown.
That is disrespectful.
And you know what happened in Game 5 when Jaren Jackson was missing in action? Strength in numbers. So I agree. I understand it. I love it. But I think I love LeVar Ball. I think he made Lonzo's career a lot more difficult than it needed to be early. I think there's levels to it. Y'all talked about levels of greatness earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Jaren Jackson's not the one that should be tweeting that. If Josh said it, okay. I can live with Josh saying it because that's Josh's kind of MO. But when all these others start tweeting and talking, you gotta know when to shut up. And for me, as if I'm John Morant as the leader, you gotta know the difference.
But you know what? You don't want your role players, which are essentially your soldiers, having the same energy and mindset as you. I think if you gotta support it. Because you look at Jaren Jackson Jr.
and behind closed doors, you can do that.
But he
should be the second best player on that team.
He is the number 2 on that team.
Look what he is on a defensive value. Now I say this: he's not a champion. Okay, he's not
anything.
But I'm just saying he's still a second option on that team. So like
I think Jaren Jackson.
He does have some
Bane is the second option at this point, and I think Dillon Brooks and Jaren Jackson could shoot out for who's third and fourth.
I say he's top 10 in his position.
Yeah, I think when they're at their best, that Jaren Jackson is their second best player.
Jackson should have put the phone down.
Ray, I see where you're coming from. But you gotta understand, like if I'm Ja, like you want all your players that have the same energy as you. You don't want to be the only one.
But Chris, you know when you get to show that after you win the ring. Now Draymond can say whatever he wants.
I mean,
the man won't shut up.
Patrick Beverly won't shut up, but he never won.
I guess.
Patrick Beverly. There's two different things. Patrick Beverly's at the end of his career, and he's trying to figure out
that since he was with the Rockets.
He wasn't getting interviews on TV though. He wasn't running up on ESPN saying that stuff. He's saying that now because he's trying to get a job. Jaren Jackson is thinking about his career after basketball with that tweet.
I mean, he's not supposed to. He's thinking about trying to talk trash.
Okay, well, when you play in the same conference, that means we talked about Jordan, how many people he kept from rings. You start running that risk because that team even if they financially, I think they will figure it out, and I also think they're going to continue to reload.
They window.
People, I know the media. Y'all may not want to give Steph his credit, in my opinion.
Okay, yeah, please.
The players,
I give Steph
players in this league, I think, love what Golden State represents. I don't think outside of maybe people in Memphis and maybe one or two other people,
I don't know.
They wouldn't love the play.
I heavily disagree.
But I, you know what? Yeah, I'm not sure if I agree with you there. I think. No, I think a lot of people. I think it's some guys that don't.
They were the most
that feel like. Yeah, I was about to say. I think the guys that feel like they get a little too carried away, like they, especially like Draymond. You know,
do it.
I think a lot of people think that
when they brought in KD, they became the most hated team.
Yeah, I'm about to say, but
that reputation has still never left.
But guess what? You know how many players would have traded positions with KD if they could have?
But I'm saying, you said players in the league, like teams in the league. I don't think they have a lot of haters.
Not the superstars.
Okay, we disagree. I think Giannis would stay where he at. He don't want to join a super team.
Dame would have stayed there.
I think today. I think today, and there's a rivalry with him and Steph, so that would be hard for him to look at because of the comparison. But if they didn't have that comparison, I think Dame would love playing in that offense. If you don't think,
hold on, Dame will be doing what Steph Curry is doing. He's a better playmaker. 100%. Let's talk about it. 100%. Dame shoots the same amount of threes. If not, he's a better deep range shooter.
100%,
bro. Without a doubt,
a better playmaker than Steph.
Yes, I stand on it.
Holy smokes! I just don't know what y'all be watching.
I'm not sure about that.
I don't know what y'all watch.
They play similar games to me.
So it's like he got the finals and he got all this, and y'all think
no. I'm not in agreement.
Wait. Nobody's calling him trash.
Yeah, I don't think I don't think Dame's a better playmaker than Steph. I think they're similar.
Some of the stuff y'all be saying, like, I think he passed GP. I think Dame's a better playmaker.
Okay, when I said that GP thing,
insulting to me.
Do you realize how long ago it was since I made a top 5 point guard list? I'm talking about
even for me, even when Kenny brings up the name like John Stockton, like that's
over John Stockton. He's better than John Stockton. You know, but
that did Kenny. Did you feel he was better than John Stockton before this Finals MVP?
You don't think he's still better than John Stockton?
Yeah, we talking about in terms of point guards. Like,
we gotta move on. We gotta move on.
That's why y'all be saying some crazy stuff, and I just don't get it.
30-8. That's what I'm saying. We're 40% from the 3. That's Dame number.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah,
y'all talked about Dame, and now I said Kyrie I think would be a good fit, but Dame and I guess it's very similar skill sets in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Should Dame leave to go to New Orleans? And 2, if he goes to New Orleans, they would obviously have to send something back.
Mm-hmm.
So does Dame to New Orleans make sense in the West? I'll start with you, Kenny.
I would say, yeah, if that means it's Zion going in the deal. Like, if I'm New Orleans, I probably would do that.
I mean, if I'm Portland, I don't want another guard back because I think they believe Simons is the future.
No, I was saying, right. So I'm saying if you're putting Zion in the deal for Dame, then if I'm New Orleans, then I'm probably going to do that. Because again, to me, it's the same thing where you were talking about with Kyrie. If you put Kyrie in that line, if you put Dame and CJ with Brandon Ingram, like that's a 3-headed monster that's going to be tough to deal with for any team, any night of the week. And then you got your Steven Adams, you got those role players, and you got guys. They got some guys coming off the bench that I like. Nikhil Alexander Walker, I think it's his name. I like him.
I love his game.
Yeah, so they got some, and then even it's another young guy, the Jackson Hayes. I like his athleticism off the bench. So they got some nice young pieces that they could pair with them. So if I'm Dame, like, bro, man, it's time. Like, enough is enough, man. I love being loyal, but everything, every season has to end. Like, it's not happening in Portland. And another team, if I'm, and I posted this on Facebook and I tweeted this, like, if I'm Boston, I'm calling Portland to see what it would take to get Dame to Boston, because to me, you put Dame with CJ, with Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, you got a serious 3-headed monster that could contend in the East and could beat any team in the NBA. So, but I would if I like that. I like that situation with New Orleans, but I like Boston even better. But again, it's going to be tough. It's probably another deal where you have to put in, add another team to the because if you're Boston, like you don't have without putting a Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown in the deal, you really don't have the salaries to be able to match. So it's going to take some work. It takes some doing.
Chris,
I don't know. Like I feel like if Dame leaves, it has to be to a team that is in championship contention, not just in the mix.
Yeah, I get that.
And when I look at the Pelicans, like losing Zion, because you'd have to give up Zion, and losing Zion or Brandon Ingram.
You probably have to add to the Zion for the money, even if you sign and trade him.
Yeah,
But
you could probably Ingram would be closer than Zion because he's still.
But even like whatever one you do, you're just back in Portland. Is
Ingram still on his rookie deal?
No,
he got his 5-year extension.
Okay.
Even if you trade one of them, the point I'm trying to make is it's like he's back in Portland. Him and CJ just changed cities. I don't know if.
But don't you think he would have a better chance of winning with that team in New Orleans?
I mean, yeah, he would, but are you winning the championship?
Oh no, I understand what you're saying.
Like that, and I'm with you. I think that team that they can make noise, just like I saw that Memphis made noise and the Mavs made noise. But look at what you're returning next year. The Mavs got better this offseason. And don't get me wrong, they can always improve on their roster, but the Mavs got better. The Lakers are coming back.
Yeah, but do you know the Mavs? How did the Mavs get better?
Christian Wood, beast. I'm sorry. He's what they needed.
Yes. I forgot about that.
He's what they needed.
That was
he's what they needed.
Yes,
but
they did. You're right. I totally forgot about that.
I don't know what Dame does because he's up to a contract of 2025. If I'm not mistaken. So wherever he go, if he wants to leave, I feel like it's to a place where he has to win a championship. And if it's a team, regardless, I think wherever he goes is going to have to be a 3-team deal. I think. I like New Orleans. I like the Boston. I would have wanted him in Philly, but now that's too late. So, I just don't know what happens with Dame right now because I do think Simons is the guard for the future. So, if he's looking, if it's a one team, then he's going for a forward or a big. So if I'm a team that is ready, forget this. Listen, buy CP3, buy DeAndre and Jay. Would you rather have Dame or CP3? Because Ayen's out the door.
Portland's not doing that. That'll kill Simon's growth.
They're not, but that's the point.
Maybe I'm trying but you can't trade Ayton for Lillard.
No, you can't. Yeah. You can't. I'm just trying. I'm just trying to entice Jay. I'm just trying to entice Jay. But like my original point, wherever he's going,
I would do that straight up. That's for sure.
Wherever he's going, it has to be to a team that I feel like is in championship consideration. I do want him out of Portland.
But how many teams are there though? How many teams are you going to get traded?
How many teams need a guard?
I'm just saying, how many teams are you going to trade?
Minnesota,
Miami.
Am I in?
They need Tyler Hero to get him out of town. They overpaid Duncan Robinson.
They did.
You can send Hero and Robinson up there.
But what do you do with Kyle Lowry?
Throw Kyle Lowry in the deal too. Kyle Lowry trash.
Kyle Lowry, you can put him on the bench. You can include.
No, trade him. You got to trade him.
You got to get.
Kyle Lowry got to go.
You'd have to trade him separately because his contract is harder to move. But he doesn't fit in Portland. That's the issue with trading all these point guards. Is
exactly
these young point guards? You would mess with their growth.
Three teams. Add another team, and Kyle Lowry got to go. And I love that you said that.
And that ain't enough.
That's the best thing I heard. No, it's not. Tyler Hero, Duncan. You got to throw some more in there. You got to throw in Victor Oladipo somehow. You got to throw in a lot.
Yeah, but he's a free agent though.
Yeah, he's unrestricted.
Ooh, come to Philly. But Ray, I'm with you. I think that's the best move. I do like him in Miami.
I think that for me.
You like him better in Miami than Boston?
Yes. Because I think in Boston you got to send
one of those better. Yeah, that's probably.
I just don't like when you have a point guard
fit for him.
Point guard, shooting guard, small forward. It's tough when they're like I like having space it out some point guard, wing, big. That's why I said. But
and the reason I say that, and he was hurt, I guess. But that's what they needed this playoffs. Miami didn't have another guy to get a bucket.
They didn't.
But I was good. You could say the same thing about Boston.
No, Boston had a first team All NBA player. He should be able to go get a bucket.
No. Okay, no. Let's talk about this. Jimmy Butler was scoring more than Jason Tatum, but after Jimmy Butler and after Jason Tatum,
when the game
let's talk about it. Let's just talk about this, right? After Jason Tatum, you have Jaylen Brown. Oops, my mic. After Jason Tatum, you got Jaylen Brown. After Jimmy Butler, you have nobody.
Well, you had 6 men of the year.
Okay, let me rephrase it. You have nobody. Let me say this again.
Bam's an all-star.
Let me say this again.
You Tyler Hero, nobody?
Again, in the playoffs.
I mean, 73 wins.
You had Jaylen Brown. After Jimmy Butler, you had nobody. Let me say this again. I love Bam. I don't think I told people how much I think Bam could be the third best center.
You've been down on Bam though for a minute.
Bam could be the third best center. What on the Heat?
No, in the NBA by far, even second best.
Stop. Second best?
Defensive wise.
Third.
Defensive wise,
you
know I don't like
it's Jokic.
Defensive, all right, but listen, defensive wise and playmaking wise, he's as good as he
listen, he's
he could be the best all around center. The
offensively, it's not even close.
So that's why I said Jimmy Butler and nobody. You needed a Dame because you didn't have a consistent number two.
You taking him over Cat?
I want to, but I can't because how inconsistent he is on offense. If
I think Vucevic is a better comp for what he
Bam consistently with what Bam did in Game 7. If he did that every single night, Bam.
But he don't.
That's my issue. That's why I'm saying after Jimmy Butler, you have nobody. That's why you need Dame. That's
I mean, I agree. I picked Dame to Miami, but if you want to include Bam in the deal, I would, but you got to replace.
No, I'm not including Bam. I'm just saying, like, as far as
I think Hero and Duncan are the albatrosses you're trying to get rid of
by far. And I don't know what else. You probably have to throw some young pieces. I don't know what you got to. They got to go though. First of all, they overpaid Duncan Robinson for hitting all them threes in the bubble. That's their problem.
I agree.
Hey, well, it's a bunch of overpaid guys in the league. He's just one of many.
Tobias Harris, but
yo, man, this guy.
We brought him up a couple times, and I want to get we actually have two, but the other two topics are short. What does Boston do?
Ooh. Yeah, I already said
it earlier. I don't think
you gotta upgrade that point guard position.
So who we talking?
I already said I'm calling Portland to see what it would take to get Dame.
And so if that means sending probably Tatum, you doing that?
No.
Because Portland's not taking Jaylen Brown straight up.
I'm sending a combination.
Yes, they are.
Jaylen Brown straight up for Dame.
No,
ain't no way Portland doing that.
Well, I'm trying to get it again. I'm trying to get a third team involved.
If they do, they should
put a combination of. I'm putting a combination of Pritchard, Williams. Who else?
They did nothing in
both of the Williams could go.
So
I will put a combination of them, a draft pick, and see if I can get a third team involved.
All right, I'll say this: Grant Williams did nothing in the finals. He disappointed me. He could be traded.
Well, I would keep the other Williams. I like
him. Yeah, Robert Williams is everybody talks about Rudy Gobert.
And he's cheap. Robert Williams right now is still cheap. He's on that rookie deal.
Robert Williams is just as
Daniel
good as
Tice, that combo. Horford, you throw him in there because he's got an expiring deal, I think.
I'll name some names, right? Because, look, I think right now Boston, yes, they're young, but they're still on win-now mode. So these some guys, these some point guards, I feel like you don't have to break the bank. Because if I'm Boston, you want to keep your two guys, you don't have to break the bank. Malcolm Brogdon, I think he's the guy you bring in.
Yeah. Somebody was talking about.
He's too old. He's too old now. But if they would have did this instead of Utah, I think they would have won. Mike Conley, he's too old, and he might not be the guy.
Yeah, he's too old now.
But no. I'm just naming. Listen, I'm saying when he went to Utah, if he'd have went to Boston would have been better. But like I said, Brogdon, I think might be the guy.
No, I like Brogdon. What you there?
I don't know, but he's cheap. He's cheaper than the Dame. He's cheap, but he's a guy that can get others involved. I like DeJounte Murray, but he's too high for the Spurs and what they want for the future. There's not a lot of, and I'm with you, Kenny. They need a playmaking guy, but it might just not be your traditional point guard. It might just be like what Draymond is for the Warriors. They might just have to find a guy.
Yeah, but that's hard to find. Like he's a unique player.
Who's their third big contract? Horford?
I think so.
But
and I think he's on them.
Horford's
I think he's on expiring deal. I think he's on expiring deal, but I'm about to check.
So there's a guy out there where the strip clubs are nice down in Houston. I've said it before.
Oh, that boy's a beast.
I'll say it again. He's just sitting there waiting for someone to come and get him.
John Wall? Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Wait, that's the one. That's the one. That's the one.
Yeah, I would definitely do that.
Clearly, they're trying to get rid of Cat.
Horford is on his last year, his deal. He's on a 4-year.
Horford's their culture,
so they could throw him in that deal.
Throw Horford in there. You could add Marcus Smart to the deal. He'll give you a gritty defense.
Yeah, Smart too. Yeah, you could put Smart, Al Horford, Pritchard. That's enough for Dame.
Yeah, because you got to think about it. You don't need Pritchard. You got Derek White.
I'm saying John Wall.
I'm saying John Wall too.
Well, you could get him, but you could get him on.
I don't think that's enough for Dame.
But I was going to say you could get him on the buyout because I think they're headed for a buyout. There's no way
they don't. I agree. Normally I would agree with you, and then you don't have to be on the hook for the $40 million.
Nothing. Yeah.
But they don't seem to be willing to cut him. That's the only reason I say it.
I think that was only because.
And if they cut him, does he want to come to you?
But again, I think that was only because he still had 2 years on his deal. I think they'll be more likely to want to do it this year because he comes off this year.
But that's the same conversation we always have. You're gonna let him walk for nothing.
Yeah, he's 23. Yeah, but he's 20. But you're gonna trade him or you're gonna lose him for nothing.
Right. So why not trade him?
So if you buy him out, then that contract comes off your cap either way.
But you got to agree to the buyout. And is he going to take the buyout? Because he didn't seem
he wants to play. He wants to play.
So he's gonna give up $40-something million?
Yeah, he wants to play.
Y'all say that so casual.
No. I didn't say the 40 mil. So
I ain't saying that's.
I just said the brother wants to play.
I think
I like John Wall a lot, but I've seen how John Wall lives his life. I don't think John Wall is giving up no money. That's just my
man signed a 4-year, $171 million,
and he wants that money.
Same reason I'm saying if he's got an opportunity, what I'm saying to you is if he's got an opportunity to play for a contender, you think he's going to keep that money to not play on a contender? If he's got an opportunity as a buy. If they let's just say Houston comes to him like, look, here's the deal. You take this buyout, you free to sign with any team going down the stretch run. You think he's not going to take that buyout to have an opportunity to sign with a team with a contender?
I think that's tough because what is his role on a contender? What's his role going to be?
He has his choice. He has a pick. He can pick whatever situation.
Most of your contenders are going to have elite point guards. So it's.
But my point is that he gets to be able to pick and choose which situation he feels is best for him.
I agree. And so I think he potentially could still find his way to Boston. But if I'm Boston in this window I currently have, do I want to take that risk? Because he's also a veteran. Maybe, and to your point, Kenny, on the buy, if he gets bought out, that means he's still got he can negotiate a cheaper deal. So then the veteran minimum comes in.
That's what I'm saying.
You start talking about the Clippers. You start talking about the Warriors. You start talking about teams.
Not the Warriors.
Yeah, definitely the Clippers, though.
Clippers, yes.
The Clippers, Denver could be coming out. Like
that's one, yes.
Then you start talking about a lot
Miami,
of
to your point, Miami.
You start talking about a lot of other competition, even if he came off the bench, maybe in Milwaukee, because they like.
Yeah, but I don't think he's going anywhere to come off the bench.
My point is, as a veteran, once you get bought out,
I guess it depends on the situation.
Typically, once you get bought out,
because if he's going to a team that he knows compete for a championship, he might not be opposed to coming off the bench.
So if I'm Boston, I can guarantee I get him by sending somebody, Al Horford, God bless him, thank you. You got to go.
Yeah,
I think honestly, Boston doesn't want to get rid of both Al Horford and Marcus Smart because that's your DNA. So I think they really want to choose. Like you can't.
Al Horford's leaving soon either way.
His contract is up after the next year.
His contract is up, but I promise you he'll resign. He's their culture. He is their coach. No, I'm with you,
bring
Ray.
him back.
He's old, exactly.
Like they did
But that's the thing.
That's what they're gonna.
When you have a guy like Al Horford, everybody's going to want him. And if Boston slips, which I think they will slip next year, when Middleton gets healthy, I think Miami's going to make some moves.
The Nets
I think Charlotte is going to take a step.
Better. You figure Ben Simmons going to be back healthy.
Like Philly,
I don't know.
I think Philly ain't going nowhere, and they will figure out this Tobias Harris thing.
No, they won't.
I disagree. I think they'll find somebody that will take him.
Are you talking about trading him? I thought you talking about trying to make him a better player.
Yeah, get him out of there.
My bad.
I think a healthy Harden offseason. I just think Boston's return is way more difficult than Golden State's return. And so if I'm Boston, am I hanging on to Al Horford? And if I'm Al Horford and I'm free, why would I pick Boston?
But let me ask you this: if you're Boston, would you rather trade it for a John Wall or a younger point guard? Like, would you rather have right now John Wall or Malcolm Brogdon?
Brogdon stays hurt a lot.
But to be fair, though, John Wall's only 31 years old.
No, 100%.
I personally,
I just look at 24 and 25 to two best players, and I would try to just me personally at a if you can try to get a younger guard, maybe even a De'Aaron Fox. But I'm with you.
I would love that.
I don't think they're gonna let Fox go. They traded Halliburton away. You can't trade Halliburton and Fox.
Yeah, that's true.
They bought the draft for point guard in this NBA draft, so who knows what the Kings are doing at this point? They keep drafting point guards.
That is also true.
All they do is draft point guards and trade them. Like, it's so idiotic.
Yeah, I don't know.
The Halliburton thing, I still don't understand.
Me neither. But even him, you could probably get him for cheap.
No, I think Indiana's gonna build around him.
Yeah,
I think you might can get the shooter.
Hill?
Yeah, I think you can get Healed. I don't think Halliburton going nowhere. Like, I think he's their future, which is why Brogdon is available. And which is why they probably won't get the best deal because people know Brogdon's available. But before we go, I got two things. Since y'all said Steph doesn't make other players around them better, I think we're gonna have to
stop saying y'all.
Why you keep on
stop saying y'all? Huh? Those words that never came out of my mouth.
Kenny, for the longest me and you gonna be in the show, the disrespect that you showed Steph Curry tonight, I am not gonna let go, and I'm gonna bring it up every chance I get.
I'm just stating.
But that's fine. You can have an opinion.
If Steph get 5, I'll consider him in the same conversation as Magic. If he gets
just 5. Get out the top 50 and then we can talk.
Wait. Top 50. Damn.
Top 50 all-time assists. Get to top 30, then we can talk.
I disagree, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah. So, is Draymond Green a Hall of Famer? Nice and quick and simple. My answer is yes. I think he's going to get it under like the Rodman mold. He ain't Rodman. Don't mishear me. But too many rings, too much of an impact. And what people like, and I'm going to keep doing it, people like Kenny that says he facilitates the offense, that adds to his value. You look at
he does.
He does.
I'm making the case. I'm saying, yes, I think he gets in with average probably
great point guard.
6 points per game. Yeah, he's a heck of a point guard. But no, for me, he's Hall of Fame for me, especially in the NBA Hall of Fame, because they be letting some other people in. I don't be. But
that's true.
Chris, I'll go to you.
First ballot, baby. Draymond going in the Hall of Fame.
First ballot. No, I do not think he's first ballot.
First ballot, 4 championships, 3.
Well, I will say that it depends on the class he goes in. I think that'll dictate, but I don't think
first ballot.
Okay, I hear you.
Right now, he already has 4 championships. 7 all defensive teams, and the brother is one of the best defensive players. He should have way more defensive player of the years. It shows in the playoffs why he's always going to be a top 5 defender in the game for the past I don't know how long. He's first ballot Hall of Famer.
Kenny,
he's a Hall of Famer. Like you said, I think the greatest point that you make is that he's on that tier of a Dennis Rodman where. His contribution to the game or his impact on the game is bigger than stats. So I think that's why he gets in, why he gets into the Hall of Fame. First ballot, second ballot, who cares? Like, I don't really care about that. But yeah, I do think he's a Hall of Famer. But he is not and will never be the all-time great best defender. Whatever he said, he'll never be that. So we can forget that lie. We'll never ever put him in that category of the best defender.
I got a question. From 2010 to 2020, who's the best defender in the league? Or in the past 10 years, who's been the best defender in the NBA?
That's a good question.
Is his name not the first that comes up?
I
was thinking PJ or Giannis, but he's right there.
Shoot, I will put Drew Holiday.
PJ was playing center in the.
Drew Holiday is the only one Drew Holiday is the only one.
Yeah, I'll put Drew Holiday.
Right. Okay, now you're talking to Kenny and Chris that know the game. Listen to every single basketball player's interview when they say who's the best defender in the NBA for the past 2012, 6-7 years. They all said Drew Holiday.
You said 10 years though.
No, I'm saying no. You're right. So who's your next player that you said?
I said
you probably put Gobert in there.
Hell no.
I wouldn't. I'm just saying. I wouldn't. But I'm saying
he is robbing people of accolades by winning awards. He don't be in no all-star game. He shouldn't be on no all-defensive team.
But the point you're right. The point I'm trying to make is though he might not be the best, but for his decade, like.
Oh no,
he's for his era. Draymond Green
in his era.
I would say he's been the best defender at his position in over the last.
No, and that's not taken away from him as a defender. I'm saying he's definitely one of the top defenders in his era, but he's not an all-time great defender. Not for me. Like to me, like he's an all-time great help defender. Like in terms of being a guy that's going to be a primary defender, I'm not looking at him.
Like when he says stuff like he could lock Shaq up or stop Shaq, shut up.
Yo, he did lock up Jaylen Brown. That's all I'm gonna say.
So my point, but that was gonna be my point.
I don't know about that because Jaylen Brown was going at him.
We saw what we saw. But no, I think he's up there. I agree with the Hall of Fame. And last, before we get you guys out of here, we got to get the predictions coming fresh off the finals. Who's in the finals next year and who wins it? I will start with you, Kenny.
The New York Knicks and Cyclones. Let me see. It's hard to. I think we gotta wait. Well, you gotta wait to see what happens with free agency.
Of course, we have to wait, Kenny. It doesn't really matter. It's not real.
Let me see. I know. I'm just saying. Let me see. Let me think about it.
And forecast what you think will happen.
I will say Golden State and who's coming out of the East? Don't think it'll be Boston. All right, I'm gonna be at home with Golden State and Brooklyn.
And you got Brooklyn?
Golden State and Brooklyn with Golden State going back to back.
You know your Magic Johnson is going to be having a hard time if that happens.
He ain't never going over Magic. In my eyes, you can forget that top 56.
Chris?
He might move up in the top 10, but he ain't moving up in the point guard.
Oh, have mercy. All right.
Out the West, Dallas Mavericks.
I love that trade, though. I'm not gonna lie.
Dallas or Denver for me. Right now, I'm leaning towards Dallas. I think Christian Wood is going to average 25 and 12. Out the East, and this is not even me being a homer. It has nothing to do with Joel Embiid. It's all James Harden and Tyrese Maxey.
So James Harden
James Harden is coming off a hamstring. He's coming off a hamstring injury. You can't do cardio. You can't do cardio with a messed up hamstring.
We're talking about a 2-year hamstring injury?
Yes, we are.
Is it really a hamstring or is he just not in shape? Come on, let's keep it a buck.
Sixers in Dallas, man. Sixers winning 7.
Whew, okay. I disagree with both of y'all, and obvious. My issue for Dallas, and I think what's really going to be something to see, is can Luka play with another dynamic player? Like, I don't know if his game is built.
But I think that's what makes Christian Wood a perfect fit. That he's not a guy that's going to have the ball a lot.
But can Christian Wood be the second best player in the championship team? I don't think so. And that's where my issue is. I think they definitely won the trade, but I think they need an Andrew Wiggins type player, and Tim Hardaway ain't that, and Jalen can't be that, especially not on defense. And Christian Wood, to me, does not help them on defense. Not for real.
You ain't see they're about to play defense.
So if Dallas plays Golden State.
If Dallas plays Golden State and they have Christian Wood, Dallas winning. And if Tim Hardaway is healthy, Dallas is winning. Yes, they are.
They definitely missed Tim
Dallas
Hardaway.
Is winning. It was in all them games, and Luka was the only one.
No, they missed Tim Hardaway for sure.
But that's Luka's value. And this goes back to my point when I was having the conversation with Kenny about being a point guard. I believe a point guard's main role is to get the ball in the basket. Whoever provides you the best opportunity to get the ball in the basket, that's who should have the ball when the shot goes up.
Luka averaged 30.
That's
against a zone.
That's my point. I agree. So I think Luka's phenomenal. Yeah. My question is, can someone like Luka, similar to can someone like Kyrie, can a shoot first type point guard lead a team and be its best player? I think that's difficult, and I don't know that we've seen that. And I haven't seen
Steph Curry.
I haven't seen, and I can speak to the Steph Curry point, but you guys just said he's not the facilitator. And I think there's a reason.
Luka's the facilitator, though.
And I agree. I think Luka gets a lot of Russell Westbrook type assists, which look great on the box score. I don't know that Luka can play well with another elite number 2.
That's a good question. It's a good question. It's a very good question.
I haven't seen Luka.
We haven't seen him. We haven't seen him.
His other teammates, though.
Yeah.
I didn't see Luka get anybody paid yet. I saw them trade away Kristaps Porzingis.
Because he was trash.
I didn't see Spencer Dinwiddie necessarily take off with Luka. I don't know that he elevates other players in that way. I think Steph does that. But that's my issue with Dallas. But I do like Dallas, and I want to say them.
I see where you're coming from.
I really like Memphis, but I don't know if they're ready yet either. And so I'm back with, if health, and this obviously assuming health, I think Golden State moves Wiggins, brings back more youth. And I don't see a reason they're not right back there. In the East, I don't know how y'all just skipped over this man, but y'all talked about how Boston beat Milwaukee. They beat them without Chris Middleton, one of their better scorers down the stretch. I don't think they beat Boston. I don't think they beat Milwaukee without Middleton. And I think Golden State has a heck of a time guarding Giannis.
They lose.
But I would.
And I think Drew Holiday is a whole different type of defender.
I would counter back though. I would counter back that with Brooklyn almost beat them when it was all three of them was healthy. They were a toenail from beating them in the playoffs.
I agree. Before. I don't think that Brooklyn team still exists though. That team's changed a lot since then.
You're right, but when it comes to this, is all I'm gonna say. I agree with you. Healthy Chris Middleton, they're not beating.
It does make a difference.
They're beating the Celtics, but we all know luck has to do with a championship run. 100%. It's like the Celtics. I mean, the Bucks got some luck when they won their championship. You're going against KD. When it's supposed to be
every team could say that.
Every team has some luck. But I agree with you on the Bucks. In my opinion, if Chris Middleton doesn't get hurt, the Bucks are going to the finals. And I probably would have picked the Bucks to win because I don't know who stops Giannis. I don't.
No one stops Giannis. And exactly. Wiggins can do that to Jason Tatum. He can't do that.
I would have paid to see that matchup in the finals. I would have paid to see that matchup in the finals.
Missed the lockup.
I would have, and then to see Drew. I think Drew would have did a better job on stuff. But listen, I'm not mad at nobody.
Definitely.
I'm not. As long as nobody said the Cavaliers, versus the Kings, I feel like all.
Yeah.
They're combinations.
They're not there.
But shout out to Bickerstaff though. The Cavs definitely did that thing.
No, they're coming out. I want to be.
I didn't think Mobley and Allen could work.
Colin Sexton.
He's gone. Colin Sexton's gone. He's gone. But I didn't think Mobley and Allen could work, and it worked.
It did.
I agree. I didn't see
think
that. I like Allen in Brooklyn. I thought I didn't.
Me too. I didn't like that they traded him. I think they should have kept him.
But Bucks have won it. Damon, you've been really on fire.
You chirping the Bucks would have smacked the Celtics if they was out there. They won the 6.
Yeah. So I think this just fuels Giannis's hunger, and I think they come back ready. And I got Milwaukee over Golden State next year.
Who's your MVP next year?
Giannis. I think he gets back to it. He'll be on the mission. If Dallas takes the leap that I think they can take, I think Luka will come second.
Yeah.
But I got to see it happen. If he can elevate that team to a top 4 team in the West next year, then he wins it.
Can I read this potential? I'm not mad at none of those picks.
I don't think Ja will be healthy enough.
But I think this is the year where he figures it out, where he starts to be more judicious in terms of his drive, in terms of his rim attacks, and his jump shots gets better. And that I think that's the next step for him, and I think he's going to play to that MVP level.
All I'm saying is, if he has the numbers, there's no way in the world Joel Embiid does not get MVP next year. For the 3rd straight year, he should have won it.
Getting snubbed.
Let me just read this trade real quick before we go, Ray. Potential trade. Let me clarify. Potential trade. The Lakers get Kyrie Irving and Seth Curry. The Nets get Brogdon and Miles Turner. The Pacers get Russell Westbrook. First-round pick from the Nets. And another first-round pick from the Lakers. 3 picks. Who says no?
Oh, nobody.
I don't think
Brooklyn probably be the only team. I would say no to that.
Brooklyn would add. I think if I'm all those teams, Brooklyn that has to get one more player.
Yeah,
but
if I'm the Lakers, I'd do that in a heartbeat.
Definitely from the Lakers. Who did Indy send?
Indy got rid of Brogdon and Turner.
They go to the.
So you got rid of Brogdon and Turner, got Russ back with Halliburton
and draft picks.
I don't see how Russ fits at all.
But he's expiring deal.
Yeah, Turner and Brogdon are no. I'm with you. There's a lot that has to be added. I think Pacers will have to make some more moves. But I say all that to say.
So if you
I think Kyrie's going to LA. I think that Lakers and that Brooklyn trade is somehow going to happen this offseason with the 3rd team in it. It just what 3rd team wants to finesse themselves, because if I'm a 3rd team, I'm adding myself in there and finessing something.
Kevin Durant
that's definitely a finesse for the Lakers if they get that.
If they get that, but Kevin Durant, if you want any inkling of keeping Kevin Durant,
oh yeah,
you're not going to trade his best friend and bring
guaranteed to send him out the door.
You waste the next year of Kevin Durant's career. But if you bring Russell Westbrook back to play with him in Brooklyn, in New York, that whoever picked Brooklyn, that's out. That's super dead.
Oh yeah.
And then if it's next year, Russ and Katie would leave, and they'd be free next year because they're both from the last year of their deal. Yeah. So Brooklyn does that. They're idiots.
No, KD just signed an extension, so he wouldn't.
You're right. He did sign.
Yeah.
Brooklyn did it again. They traded away their future like they did to bring in Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce to win nothing, and now they've done it again to win nothing. You gotta love this franchise.
Well, this is all hypothetical, so we got to wait.
Very hypothetical. Y'all saying the Bucks and
they
lost.
I don't know what's in their butts, but they lost. Chicago was overrated to begin when I said that.
Yeah, that's the first round.
And Ray Stradamus has returned one last time. I did not trust my gut, and I jumped on the Boston bandwagon. When I've said, and Chris, you're new here. Well, you're not new here, but you're new old here. I've said from the beginning, I didn't believe in Boston. I kept saying it.
I'm with you. I didn't believe in them either. I should have picked the Warriors. I don't know why.
Chris,
I'm not trying to hear none of this.
Finally came off of my
I'm not trying to hear none
stringent
of
take
this.
and belief because I thought they changed. And they are who I thought they were. And they had a good run, but it's over. I don't know if I said earlier, I said it before and I'm back on the bandwagon because I should have never jumped off. Blow it up.
Blow up Boston?
Blow them up.
Just
Unless
get rid of Smart.
you can bring in an elite point guard, because I 100% agree with y'all. I think Marcus Smart has a role, though. I don't think you want him off the team.
He just need Chris Paul, man.
Point guard. And I think he already got paid, so you don't.
But you got to move him if that means it's going to get you a point guard. I'm sorry.
If that's the case, I agree. You do got to move him.
He can't be a 3-and-D.
I think he's the. I still think
he can be, but you can't. But again, you can't let that hold you up from getting a point guard.
You're right.
I agree, but you got to get a good point guard.
Oh yeah, no question.
Marcus Smart had a bad run, but to your point, Kenny, he had 9 assists in the last game. Like, he can't help that Jason Tatum shooting 20%.
In the words of Stephen A. Smith, a dead clock is right twice a day.
People giving Mark Smart a hard time. He's hit a bunch of he's hit probably more clutch big shots than anybody on that team. He is the defensive pedigree because Jason Tatum comes and goes.
He sure can't do nothing on offense, but that's another.
You do remember, Kenny, when they all scored like 25, right? 25 and 5.
Right. Like I said, and he ain't do nothing else the rest of the series. But go ahead.
Kenny, I would love to watch a game with you because we see the game so different, and I would love.
If you're saying that Marcus Smart is you would rather have Marcus Smart on that team next year than upgrade that point guard position, then we definitely disagree.
No, I said that. But what I'm saying is, I don't think he's as bad as you're making him out to be.
I'm not saying that he's. I'm not saying that.
I believe he belongs on that. I'm saying
that you need to upgrade that position. That's all.
Because there was but before this year, he was like a 6 man of the year, and I think he was great at that.
You can win. I'm not saying that you can't win if you're the Celtics. I'm not saying that you can't win with Marcus Smart as your point guard. I'm saying if you want to win a championship, he can't be a point guard.
No, but I think he can be on the court when you win a championship. I just don't think he should be the point guard. You can go get somebody, but I think
the point Kenny's trying to make is if you want to get your point guard, he has to be in that deal, not because of his playing style, but because like who else you're not going to throw in Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum,
and which then becomes the problem of, and I do like John Wall there, but John Wall ain't the defender. Malcolm Brogdon definitely ain't the defender that Marcus Smart is. Like,
but they are so good, but they are really good defensively at all those other positions. He's trying to match that.
Back in the classroom, I got my hand up. Marcus Smart is not the best defender at this position, and it showed in the finals. Steph Curry walked on him. Okay, all that defensive player of the year stuff went out the window.
Skates.
So this is what I'm talking about, and we can go. Your reasoning for why Marcus Smart is not as good of a defender is because Steph Curry skated on him.
Damn right, man. Listen, it's the finals.
Steph Curry.
That's the finals.
That's the disrespect that I be talking about. Like, if you would have said because Jordan Poole danced on him, okay, Jordan.
All right, listen, I'm doing a lot.
Not be the measuring stick for if you're a good defender or not.
He shouldn't, but it's certain things that Steph was. All right, I'll say this. Listen,
who stopped Steph in the playoffs?
That's fair.
Matthew Dellavedova.
Kevin Love.
And after that historic Matthew Dellavedova performance, what has he done since?
Got paid.
Kevin Love, Game 7.
All right, I'm with you. Okay, maybe I'm being a little too harsh on Marcus Smart, but the point I'm trying to make
y'all disrespected Steph Curry.
No. The point, forget that. The point I'm trying to make is his thing for that team was defense.
And so was Mikal Bridges. But what happened in the playoffs?
So after defense, I'm not done. So after defense, what's the next best valuable thing you think Marcus Smart's bring to that Celtics team?
So is energy included in defense?
That's part of defense.
I think that's part of defense.
So if that's defense, he also does contribute to rebounding, and he does spread the floor.
Okay, I'm not even trying to argue. I was really just curious. I think everybody views Marcus Smart different. I think he's a secondary ball handler when you need him to be.
Agreed.
3-and-D guy. I think
I agree with all that.
The move, to trade away all these guys and to have him be a point guard, I think it was very inconsistent. I see him make good passes, but then I see him trying to be too passive like Rondo and have turnovers. I don't think his
their team. They turn the ball over.
But that's why I think we're all saying the same thing.
Yeah,
and they need
go get a real point guard.
But the problem is you don't want to spend too much. But the problem is you don't want to get somebody that's not good enough. So they're stuck between a rock and a hard place.
I don't think you need a dynamic scoring point guard. You can go
You
get
don't.
You need a playmaking point guard.
Rubio who just tore his ACL. You can
Yeah,
go get
that's a great.
Okay.
You can go
So we're in
get
agreement.
those kind of guys exist, and they're not going to be super expensive. I don't have the free agents in front of me, but you can go get that type of player.
And I think that's
Peyton Pritchard could take some steps next year.
Nah. Peyton Pritchard trash, bro.
But
You watch him in the finals? Did you watch him in the finals? Yo, he was trash in the finals. I'm going off on a tangent. Peyton Pritchard and Grant Williams sucked in the finals. Like
I might great in game one.
I might blame Derek White was great in game one. I might blame Peyton Pritchard and Grant Williams more than I blame Jason Tatum. Facts.
Whoa.
No, I'm not doing that.
Listen, hot take. Facts. I thought Grant Williams, forget Peyton Pritchard. I thought Grant Williams was going to be the X factor for this team, and I was highly disappointed. He's on a block. He's on a trade block. You're taking calls for Grant Williams and Peyton Pritchard from the Celtics.
Fair enough. I just checked. Anthony Simons is also a restricted free agent, so
yeah, he's getting a bag. He's getting a bag.
He's gonna get a bag, and they're gonna have to move Dame probably.
He's getting a bag,
in my opinion. But yeah, man. I think I appreciate y'all. It's really. I'm not surprised. I know how y'all feel. It's okay.
More time before we go, huh?
We can revisit this through the summer because we're gonna have some free time to discuss some things. But y'all need to put some more respect on Wardell's name. That's all I'm saying.
I respect him. I said he's a top 5 point guard of all time. Top 3.
If somebody came and said
top 3.
Okay.
All-time great player, but not an all-time great point
guard. When you say Shaq is a top 5 center, that's still disrespectful.
Listen, that's why I said top 3. Steph is now my top 3. I just don't know if he's second or third. I don't because I don't even know who's second or third. I just know it's Magic, and Steph is in that top 3, and it could be Zeke or Oscar Robertson. Depends how I feel. He's a top 10 player of all time. I think that's without a doubt.
Without it. So how is he? So do you have Oscar in your top 10?
Oscar was in my top 10.
Oh,
he was like that. Like when I tell you, when my last time I made a list was like almost 2-3 years ago. So I really got to go back.
So you have a very guard heavy list.
Those were
because you're gonna have Oscar, Magic,
Jordan, Kobe, Oscar, Magic, Jordan, Kobe. Curry wasn't in it at the time. I had Shaq, I had Bird, Timmy, LeBron. I think that was my list.
So no Kareem?
Oh, and Cap. Cap is the set. He was number 2.
So that's 10.
That was my 10.
I got 5 guards, 5 forwards.
Yeah.
Okay.
I had 2 centers. Listen, people are tripping on Kareem. I might switch it up and just say Kareem the greatest.
You ain't never not. You can never not have a top 5.
You would be surprised.
It's amazing what happens when you play with a top 5 player for your whole career, and you're a point guard. And you get a lot of.
Let's go.
When you have
the
all-time leading scorer,
but he's still over.
6 MVPs.
But you taking
finals MVP.
Taking him over. But you taking Steph over, man.
The game is
all
about.
Right, let's go, y'all.
And he has we out.
So that's the point, Chris. Doesn't that hurt Magic's case when you play with that kind of talent your whole career?
Nope, not at all.
It makes his case even stronger because he's the reason why he's the all-time leading scorer is because he got all them passes from Magic.
No, he was scoring at a record level before that, but that's cool. Hey, y'all have a great one. Damien, you still are on fire with your takes. Catch us on Thursday at 9 and all the other.
That is disgusting. Oh my goodness.
I mean, him and Kenny probably come from the same school, but it's cool.
Go ahead. Don't put me with that.
Y'all have a great one, and we'll see y'all this Thursday at 9. Take care.
All sports, all plays. All sports all plays. All sports all plays.